Futures back in positive territory, looking to wrap up the week on a positive note, coming off yet another negative session yesterday. All three U.S. indexes back in the red at the end of the day yesterday. The S&P and NASDAQ on track for a seventh, if you can believe it, seventh straight losing week, while the Dow is set for 8 in a row, depending on how today wraps up, obviously. The S&P down about 0.6 yesterday, 19% off its all-time highs now, flirting with that bear market territory once again. 20% would get us there. Only a matter of time, it would seem. But again, we're trying to bounce here this morning. The Federal Reserve continuing to signal it plans to continue to tighten policy and interest rates as inflation continues to be the big concern for the overall market and the economy going forward. A couple of interesting moves here in the pre-market. NIO making its debut on the Shanghai market overnight. Huge rally there, so shares are higher this morning. Also being added to a tech index. We'll tell you all about that. Foot Locker reported. There's also a positive note on DoorDash this morning. Not doing a lot of volume, but higher in the pre-market as well. Lots to discuss here. It's Friday, May 20th, 2022. TraderTV.live starts now. Yeah, there we go. Good to see positive numbers top to bottom to kick things off for a Friday. S&P up a full percent. NASDAQ leading right now, 1.5%. As I said, the Dow is positive, but on track for 8 in a row, 8 losing weeks, that is, in a row for the Dow. Everything else looking pretty good so far, in the right direction anyways to kick off Friday morning. It's been a pretty wild week with retail earnings. We don't have much to get through on the earnings front today. Good morning, guys. But there are a few, not a lot of action so far in those that did report it. Outside of Ross, there's also some in the cybersecurity space as well.
Good morning. Some in the cybersecurity. Come on, man. Palo Alto, they're big, the best. We'll talk a little bit about them, to be sure. But Ross stores. Like there's every single day this week, there is a retailer that got smoked, and this morning it's ROST. So if you're not familiar with them, get familiar with them. There was already some shenanigans on this stock. What I thought was somebody pushing around the stock was actually somebody buying a boatload of shares at $70.50. So Godspeed to them.
Yeah, yesterday we talked about it when Cisco missed, and I was like, Palo Alto. Every morning my throat is like this. I just got to drink some more water here and get going on that. But we've already, we're on about a half a cup of coffee so far. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Palo Alto nice. And then Ross stores down 23%. Again, it's on the sticky note today. Ross, we're going to be looking at that. So ROST as well. We like AMD, we like Apple, but we don't like today very much because obviously it's going to be Miss V's last day with us here at Trader TV Live. So it's, it's a good day. It's Friday. We're going to the Jays game after, and that should be fun. All the traders behind us, we're all gonna, taking them down there, see what's gonna happen. We're gonna see Tony down there. We're gonna have a lot of fun. But yeah, a little dark cloud hanging over us all today. But you know what? I mean, it'll be fine. We're looking forward to new starts and new beginnings for Valeria as well. So yeah, it's going to be a good day, a great day. The market's up. We're ready to rock and roll. We've got our mixed blues on here today for the Blue Jays. Yeah, we're getting ready to rock and roll. I'm going to turn this guy into a little temporary bull here today, Brendo.
All right. Yeah, as Sean was mentioning there, it's a bittersweet kind of day for the last time. Let's bring in Miss V.
Good morning, team. Happy Trading Friday to you all. And yes, this is my last day on Trader TV Live. And let's have a fantastic, profitable day together. Please like this video and let's get it started, Brandon.
Yeah, let's get it started. It is Miss V Day around here. Let's call it that, shall we? A couple of things to note right out of the gate here. We had earnings, as I mentioned, from a number of retailers. There was also Deere reported, DE, to the downside. Big miss for them. Not doing a lot of volume here as well, but DoorDash, guys, $400 million buyback approved for Dash, so in positive territory nevertheless.
Sometimes you just got to sprinkle a little buyback on it. It usually works pretty well. Not a huge fan of the deer miss, top bottom. That's not necessarily one of those things that's going to be good from like an overall market's perspective, right? So I'd like to see that stock hopefully react a little bit better. AMAT's miss obviously doesn't help things either, but the market seems to be shaking it off so far. DoorDash, this is another, like, again, there's going to be so many of these types of names that you're getting this lower high being put in, and it's just sitting there waiting for a breakout. You've seen so many things try to break up. Like, we'll talk about NEO, which got to its 50 period. But apparently we're in a market where SoFi cracks the 50 period, Fahad, but DoorDash can't seem to get off the schneid. And there's obviously some levels that have come into play today. It hasn't been able to get through the 70 the last couple of days. If it breaks that, there's room up to 75, 76, which was a strong double top. And I showed you the bottom end of that channel on the daily chart. This is another one that has a shot to go here. Is this the catalyst that does it? Maybe it is. I see almost no pre-market volume, so it's not really on my list. But believe me, there are plenty of breakout opportunities today. There are plenty of names which are testing significant resistance levels today. What I'm not seeing, however, are a lot of things that are on gigantic support or significant support. You can maybe throw Apple into there, but yeah, most of it's broken away from that support, which has been a pretty good sign and a pretty good place for some of those longs. So it could be a little bit trickier for some of the long entries here today if you don't favor breakouts.
Yeah, I don't really favor breakouts early, but we'll take some late, hopefully, and by late I mean a couple minutes into the market. Normally we look at the imbalance locator to give us some kind of an idea of maybe a direction, and obviously it's the NASDAQ up 1.45% right now, outpacing the ES, and the NASDAQ imbalances aren't out yet, but we have a bunch of mixed results here, basically. Snapchat with a sell, NEO there with a buy, DD's been buy or sell all week. Space is there as a sell, Merck as a sell, Roblox as a buy. So, some of these, there's Unity as well as a buy down there. So some of these beat down names, catching little bits of bids here. Roblox up that 2% right now. So, it's been, up 2%, my bad. Up 3% right now for Roblox. I had up there, I want to talk a little bit about, just because you mentioned DoorDash there, like Uber's been pretty clobbered here, and I just think about, when I think about DoorDash, you think about Uber Eats and think about some of those, not really Lyft. I don't put Lyft in the same category because they don't do this, but you want to talk about something that's been beat down here pretty good. Uber's down at that 22 level, and when you expand it out, this is pretty much its all-time low. Sure, we ticked down to $15 there as COVID hit and they basically shut down operations. But, nice little rebound there on some of the delivery, servicing at-home meals, stuff like that when people couldn't get out. Obviously, it was a COVID story. Didn't even go up as much as a lot of those other COVID names, but look at this. Right back down to $22 right here today, bumping up. And again, this is one of those names where you've just had, and I think Brendan said, this is 7th heading on its 8th straight negative week here for the markets. You're kind of starting to, like Neil mentioned as well, starting to see some bottoms here. And I'm looking at this Uber, if you can get above 25, we're only at 23.75 right now, but you can clear a lot of this garbage right here and get through it, then maybe there's some smooth sailing upside for Uber. I also want to, I'm not in it. I don't know if I'll, Airbnb is a NASDAQ stock? No, is it? Yeah, I guess it is. Okay. Airbnb is another name that I'm trying to buy as well on some of these bottoms. And you can see this has been a nice little move to the downside. And the same level kind of exists for them. 125. Not as dramatic of pullbacks here for an Airbnb. But like I said, as hopefully the summer months come through, hopefully we get a little bit of a relief in gas prices. Airbnb should be able to get back to the upside here. So I don't know. I like this name, 125, 125, 125, and then a break right there of 125. So yeah, as far as investments go, I think there's a lot of names that you can nibble at. The list is endless, and I think that's what you got to do. We have the sticky note, but I think you also got to have a shopping list, which includes stocks that maybe you've never been in before, but you understand the story and you like it for the next year, 2-3 years plus, right? So I think there's going to be a lot of stories like that. Airbnb's one, Uber's one if they can turn it around. I believe PayPal's another one at those levels right now that you can start nibbling in on. And I can go on and on, Brendo, but there's a couple good names out there. We'll see if today's rally holds.
Yeah, I noticed crude oil, guys, basically unchanged so far this morning. First long weekend here in Canada for the summer this weekend. It was a bit of a ghost town in my neighborhood this morning. A lot of people, I think, taking an extra long weekend, but yeah, gas prices continue to be an issue. Let's go to NIO. Made its debut overnight on the Shanghai exchange. Big rally. Nice look, or sorry, the Singapore exchange, I should say, not Shanghai. In Shanghai, it's going to be added as well to the Hang Seng Tech Index, which I found surprising, already included Li and XPEV, but not NIO, along with other names such as Alibaba and other e-commerce names. So number of positive catalysts here this morning for NIO.
Yeah, and well, so first things first, like this listing, just like their Hong Kong listing, it's not dilutive, right? So there was no issuing of new shares for NIO here. It's just available on another exchange, right? So you don't have to worry about share dilution here like you would with regular IPO or anything along those lines. I might have accidentally said NIO was breaking its 50 period. It was getting to the 50 period. It was it was SoFi that broke its 50 period. But that does stand out right now. I'm looking at this 18, sort of 30 level. We've sort of seen the story before on NIO, more typically with, I guess, their monthly releases of data with regards to deliveries, where you sell the news when it's good, and then the first move is to the backside on something like an NIO. And when I look at that 1830 level, 50 period resistance on the daily chart, you're gapping up into it. You've already sort of pulled back off 18.
Here we
it
go.
is setting up for a little bit of a fake break at 18 even, if it were to get up there and sort of roll over. So if you like the buy today, which I think that's what I'm looking at, it's just, you look at this nice little cluster here. Like you had a 17 top and you had all afternoon support at 1650. And this is another theme. A couple of names I looked at like this, where they had this afternoon support levels that could be interesting for a buy. So if it is a sell the news type of thing, I think that's that cluster to look for a bit of a dip buy. And then it is set up. If we get through 18, fail beneath 1830, and then start coming right back in, that would set up for a short into those levels for the dip buy. Just typically that's what I sort of see NIO do here.
VWAP trader here. Let's just keep the pouring in here. It's at Valeria here, but congratulations on your 2 years at Day Trade the World and being a YouTube star at such a young age. So, and then congrats to me and you, Neil, as well. Obviously not talking about us being any sort of stars, let alone at a young age. So, yeah, we are very, very... Yeah, Neil's the star. Neil's the star here. And Valeria.
Look at that.
We lose. Oh, no. Why are you pointing out the gray hair?
Actually, you know what? I saw there was a comment in the chat this morning, and I apologize because I didn't catch the name of it. It was pretty quick, saying, you know what? With Ms. V's personality, you'll probably see her starring somewhere else pretty soon.
Starring somewhere else. Ooh.
No, it was like she could have her own YouTube channel.
Yes, maybe.
Hey.
Look, man, stay tuned. That's all I can say about Miss V's future. So, no, you know what? She's going to do her own thing, and she's already talked to people there on social media and things like that. So, she'll be here the rest of the day, all day. So I'm not going to get too emotional until 3:59. Okay. All right. So look, I've loved NIO all week. We took a 1550 break when it was there, right here. That was a monster trade. We had it yesterday as well, and we'll look to see. I believe we did, but it wasn't heavily traded. Maybe we didn't have it yesterday actually. But nice moves up for NIO. That 18. I'm not playing the break right now. I did write down here that obviously there's some easy levels for us, right? 17 is great. So I think if we can get a pullback into 17, which was the high there yesterday, the high there the day before, any kind of pullbacks into 17, we like it. We like it a lot. And then honestly, if the market wants to get going here, we're obviously starting to trade down again. And that's what I was saying to Baxter on the way in. I feel like this is a fade Friday, man. And I'm not talking about Brendan's fades. I'm talking about fading the market here on Friday. So let's wait to see what happens in. I even told my kid, I was like, I got to get a haircut here because I got to compete with this Brendan guy coming through. So, and then my kid's like, oh, I was like, you want to go with me? Because, father-son bonding would be nice to, go get haircuts. Yeah. We've done it before. He goes, no, Dad, I'm growing my hair long. I was like, okay.
How long is long?
Basically doesn't want to cut it. I
okay.
don't know. He says he has a friend at school, I guess, that has the flow. So I don't know.
Dude,
the
dude
is 10 years old. So I don't know what he's doing. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to go by myself. But anyways, NEO to 17, I like it. Quickly before we go back to Brendan, let me just double check to see if there was anything on the, yeah, so here it is on the imbalance there. Just double checking that it is a buy. You know, again, sitting down here near 1720, 1730, things like that in case we get a dip. NEO has dipped many times before and often off the open. So yesterday ripped, then came right back to those opening levels again. So let's be patient, man. It's been working for us every single day in the last little while, ever since we stopped taking breakouts. So we'll take them, but the levels are gonna have to build themselves up. I think I found one at 17. I really like NEO. It's the #1 name on the sticky note.
All right, we will get into the rest of what you need to know coming up here this morning. One quick note, and then we're gonna bring in Michael Moss here from Trade Ideas. A sign of the times, maybe. We've talked about the destruction in Amazon shares, but yeah, Citi removing Amazon stock from its best list or top picks list. So interesting move. Amazon continues to be under pressure over the past couple of months. Amazing. As mentioned, Michael Moss, chartered market technician from Trade Ideas, back with us on a Friday. It's been a crazy week. Michael, good to see you as always. A lot of retail destruction, a lot of earnings, and you're here to tell us about an opportunity that is created post-earnings. A lot of people, you know, go into earnings season thinking, okay, how am I going to trade these stocks going into earnings? But you're here to tell us about an opportunity that you have found post-earnings.
Yeah. So first, I just want to say, as a viewer of the show, that just to miss V, you'll be missed. You know, I just want to give a voice to the rest of the viewers out there. I know the comment section is going to agree with me. You'll be missed, and everyone, we wish you the best on whatever comes next. So I just wanted to get that out of the way again, just give a voice to the viewers there, and we can get back to trading. But yeah, so one thing that I talk about a lot as a swing trader is to not forget after the event, right? A lot of the day trading, it's very focused on, okay, we have earnings today and earnings is going wild. Let me trade it for today. And then quickly you forget 4 or 5 or 6 days later after earnings has come out. So, but in Trade Ideas, I have a scan that I go to. It only works around this time every year or every quarter, which is probably, I'll come on and talk about it then. But I call it the power earnings gap. And if you're a subscriber to Trade Ideas, you can email in and we can get access to this as well. So here's one that kind of worked in the past just to show the setup. On CEIX, I just pointed an arrow there to the gap. That was a gap that was caused because of earnings. As a chartered market technician, I don't care about the fundamentals, but I care about the market's reaction to the fundamentals. So on the next slide, we zoom into that area a bit just to show you the setup. And it's pretty simple. You're looking for a stock that gaps up because of some sort of change in fundamentals, earnings, great news, and holds that gap area. You know, that there's an old saying out there that all gaps fill. Well, the ones that don't fill are the ones that are the most interesting to me. So this one, for example, gapped up on earnings, ran for a couple days and just held that nice tight base. The beauty that the thing that I love about this setup is from a swing point of view is it's so simple. You just take the high of that consolidation after the earnings gap. Your stop is below the consolidation after that earnings gap. And you just hope whatever change in fundamental caused that gap and caused that investor reaction is going to carry it in the way that we saw in CEIX. So as always, I've got a handful of examples here to go through, things to watch today. So the first one is ENR, Energizer battery. It's a little Energizer bunny. Top of that gap's about 34, the bottom of it's 30. One thing I like about this is you can see the yellow line on the chart is not only did it gap up that day, but it gap up and it ran throughout the day. So there was whatever they said was really good and people are accumulating it there. And it's got, you know, that congestion underneath. So if we break back into that gap, it's probably time to move on from that one. Next one is D-Nut, which is Krispy Kreme. Again, I guess even in recessions, people need to eat. So this one gaps up, holding that consolidation very, very well. 15 is the high of the consolidation. 14 is the low of that one. Next one here is Funko. This one also has some anchored VWAP support, which is something I'll be talking about soon as we're getting very close to building some scans for this. but it gapped up over this, almost a year and a half of consolidation on earnings. It's at the low end of that consolidation, which I don't like so much, but if it can get back to that, 21 and a half level, I'm interested in that one. Pretty decent short float on this one. Next is Go, which is just groceries, a grocery store outlet, big rounded bottom, nice uptrend in this market, some good relative strength there. And that gap's about 37.5 to 34. OLN is the next one here. This one's a chlorine manufacturer, but again, good relative strength, great earnings. You're talking 65 or so for the top. And last but not least is a health insurance company that has actually gapped into new all-time highs and is holding that earnings gap. So whatever they said on earnings, investors obviously liked because we're right at highs here. The high of that consolidation is about 36.
I love the concept in the sense that, as you said, so very simple, but something that you can put in your back pocket and a week or so after the fact, revisit some of the names that did report better than expected earnings. I mean, we say all the time, when a stock is in play one day, you can't forget about it the next day and 2 or 3 days even after the fact. So exactly. Even if it's from a swing basis, definitely a great concept. Also, we appreciate very much the kind words for Miss V. As you mentioned, she will be missed around here. So have yourself a great weekend. Michael Nosh, Chartered Market Technician over at Trade Ideas. We appreciate it.
You too, anytime.
Great ideas there, guys, on earnings plays after the fact.
Yeah, and you know what? And thank you, Michael, for all of that, and definitely for the kind words. Amazing. And what I love about these ideas is like it's just immediately applicable to things that we're looking at right now. And Palo Alto just had a gap up 11%. Sorry, check that 12%. So guess what? File that one away. And sort of what he was talking about, like in the next couple of days, can you put in that same consolidation and make a channel that we can break out of? And this is exactly the kind of thing you want to add to your toolbox. And it's great from a swing perspective. But guess what? There's some day trade love in there as well, because when you break out of that consolidation, well, we like breakout trades. And if you find that channel of support, if it doesn't hold that support, sometimes you gap fill on the way back in. So, we love everything about that different perspective. That's what we're all about here, getting different ideas and seeing how we can apply them. I'm not going to be watching PanW, obviously today, but certainly for next week as well to see if it ends up fitting that setup that Michael just pointed out.
Yeah, we talked about PanW yesterday when we had Cisco on there, and we were talking a little bit about security and this kind of stuff, and I was saying we like PanW a lot there, so that's been a good one. I'm still looking at NEO. Yeah, I got a thing of halls there. I'll have to have it in a minute. But even right now, I was saying earlier, honestly, look, Tesla, I mean, a lot of us are in the money a lot with Tesla, right? But obviously, I feel like right now, Sir Elon feels like he's like unwinding himself here. So I don't really know. Like I don't like all this politics stuff. I don't like everything that he's talking about right now. I'm really debating doing this, just getting out of everything for Tesla and then just letting things settle down. I feel like there could be a disaster coming in this name. And I don't know, man. The more he rattles the cages of the Fed and then now different political parties, and we're not making this a political show. I'm just talking about an investment in Tesla here. He's not focused on the business, it seems like. He has bigger fish to fry, it seems, out there now than managing this. He's all pissed off about the ESG comments there, and apparently the factories in China, they're not getting treated properly. He didn't lose the ESG ranking in that S&P ESG index there because of the way that Tesla is for the environment. He lost it due to a lot of other events, including human resources and just the way the corporate structure is and things like that. So I don't know, man. I mean, sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire, and I feel like there's been smoke here with Tesla, at least for the last few months, and then you add on top of all of this some of the talk here with Twitter and like he can't, like 44 billion. I don't know, like it seems like we're getting a little bit away from all this. I mean, quite frankly, it started with Dogecoin and all this kind of crazy stuff that he just became this kind of pumper of things. And I feel like honestly, Tesla could have quite a ways to fall here. And I'm probably going to be looking short on any kind of pops here for Tesla today, which is a complete change of everything that I've ever thought here. I said that there's only a few electric car names or car names I'd want to be in, and Tesla was always at the top of that list. But I think we're down ticking that, man. I mean, stuff that I'm reading with Lucid, Rivian, Fisker, things like that. I just wonder if I take out all of my Tesla money, put it into some sort of an ETF, and as I say this, I mean, Tesla's bouncing around, but putting it into some sort of an ETF that's obviously still Tesla weighted there, and just taking away some of the single stock risk might be a huge mistake, because Tesla's at some crazy buy levels right now. It's just, you got to believe in the company and the management, and right now I'm sort of waning on that a little bit. I think you have some similar opinions there as well.
I don't want to get into the politics of it.
Yeah, it's not a political thing.
I kind of felt like this type of stuff was going to start to come out when that happened, the ESG and all that, and I really don't want to weigh too much on the rest of it. I just feel like the stock is under pressure because of all of the distractions. Elon is an engineer, and he's an absolutely brilliant one, and he's an executor, and that's why they're executing better than everybody else. And that's what you want to see him do, realistically. As a shareholder myself, I just want to see him be an absolute leader for the 4 businesses that matter. I wish I could be in SpaceX, can't be. It's just, he's got so much that he could be doing, and I feel like there's a lot of distractions coming here, and the next couple of weeks could get rough from a news standpoint. But there is a mover quickly. We're going to go to upgrades and downgrades, but this IMMX just popped up here. On the daily, 280 seems like a big level. It just got to 270, and I was sort of watching it. Here's what it looks like on the daily chart. That's your 280 on the daily. Double top on the daily chart, previous support when it came to market. This is one that if it gets there, that would be what I was looking to fade, kind of like Sega at $10 yesterday, although I might have just missed it. 70 might be as far as it goes. This is 2 days in a row, Brendan, where you look at that upgrades and downgrades board, and every single one of them is a big name.
Yeah, lots of retail again on here. Home Depot, interesting, to the upside from Citigroup today. Give you an opportunity earlier in the week. There's Grab, BJ, Wholesale, and Palo Alto. I want to mention Best Buy. Best Buy Monday morning before the open will get earnings for BBY, so heads up on that. AMAT, another one, obviously, reporting.
Yeah, that Costco got downgraded. Oh my God, keep that board up a little bit there for a second. I missed some of those as we were still talking about Elon here. As we go, Home Depot with a nice upgrade as well. There it is again. Thanks, guys. Yeah, so all right, Applied Materials, we've talked about their earnings. Best Buy as well on the downgrade. I believe in that. I mean, obviously, if you're going to have all retail on the right side, it's sans AMAT there, then yeah, that's not a great sign. Costco's such an interesting name for me, man. And it's like, I want to get in there ASAP. I really like the experiences when we go to Costco. Although, I mean, they need to get back the samples there. We went last time, they had a couple. But I don't know, down to, oh God, here we go. I have to say this, Lucas. We're down to 420 right now here on Costco. So on a Friday wake and bake. It's funny because I just saw it there. Someone was just saying it right a couple seconds ago about that. So and we go right over to Costco, and it's just a fluke that it's at this price. But I mean, it's been absolutely destroyed here in this retail wreckage. And I'm there, man. The lines are big. Obviously, the gas. I mean, I don't think they make very much money, and they probably make a decent amount there. I'd have to look through their reports on the fuel, but those lines continue to be strong. I was there. The store is strong. The parking lot's full. I mean, ours is anyways. I don't want to talk for everybody, but when you do line checks like that, channel checks, we hear it for Apple all the time. The channel checks, go into the store, what's going on in there, Lululemon, things like that. It works for those stores. So, I mean, for me, I think Costco's fine here, but obviously we have to wait to hear what's coming through on their report, because I don't think they're going to get Ross stores or anything like that, or Targeted or Walmarted. But now we have like adjectives for that.
I know.
But it's such a move down here that I'm debating just dipping in right now before their report next week. But it's a very, very dangerous name. They keep getting downgraded, and yeah, I think we just hold tight on it. But Costco definitely, out of all of those names, for me, as an investor, I don't know if it's going to be a great day trade, but as an investor, I really would like to get, start nibbling at least at some Costco's.
That's the company, I think, out of the group that I like the best. Home Depot gets the upgrade, and it's interesting because they probably have a pretty attractive valuation compared to the fact they also had the good report. But here's the thing. So if you're going to downgrade Costco, and they're still relatively cheap on an earnings basis, it's like 30 times or something like that. But that doesn't seem to stop Palo Alto, which Palo Alto was down like 30%, and yes, they had good earnings, but that's ridiculously expensive too. And you're actually not seeing it get punished for that, as a matter of fact, being up that 10%. So it'll be really interesting to see how the valuation matters next week with Costco, because that's a name that everybody absolutely loves. And there was a good question, Nicole Harris, like, why is Foot Locker so strong? I don't think anybody expected Foot Locker to have had a strong quarter. And so most of the bets were probably to the short side. What you said is almost entirely right. Like, Foot Locker has, like, I think, a 7 or 8% short interest. Most people probably were thinking it was going to be bad with the concerns with China, with the other retailers getting bumped. So that's another reason why it could look pretty strong, but it hasn't broken out just yet.
All right, IMMX. It's FDA approval for a cancer treatment for connective tissue cancer in soft tissues. So a heads up on IMMX, big mover so far. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Before we go any further, though, let's get Arun in here and get a check of the overall market. Going to be another important day to understand what to expect, Arun, because we're back to, the middle of the range for the past couple of days, but big levels still to contend with.
Yeah, unfortunately, this doesn't help. This move from yesterday, after yesterday's chop session, this move up doesn't really help the situation because we're too far from either side here. So upside, I've got 40.50, a ways away. And then the bottom, we've got 39, just south of 39, 38. Yeah, 40.50 up top and then 38.50 down below. So we are ways away from both sides. So trading inside of here, we need to make a move. We need to make a big move, whether it's to the upside or to the downside, to get into a range that can be workable. It is, to be fair, it is the third Friday of the month, which brings options activity at the end of the day. So there should be a decent amount of movement towards the end of the day, and there should be a lot of action. But given where we're sitting right now, there's no immediate trades that I can see that I want to participate on, because to the upside, well, if you think this is long, then you run into resistance fairly soon. And then if you fall down, we've seen what happens south of 3,900. We've caught a decent amount of bids down there south of 3,900, especially down in the 80s and 70s. So there's a lot of support down below. There's a lot of resistance above, and we're sitting right here sandwiched in between, and we're kind of ways away from both sides. So I'm just going to wait this one out, see if this market can actually get some activity, some volatility, move. Doesn't matter which direction, whether it's 40 points down or 40 points up, but it does need to move quite a bit to get into a range that could be workable. So we are up 1.28% on the NASDAQ. We've seen this market move a lot and just move around a ton in the last little bit. So maybe going into this options expiration Friday, we can actually get some more activity and get into a range that we can work with.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend. We will check back in again on Monday. Back to the upside here, last couple of minutes anyways, for the ES. Let's talk about what else to expect this morning. If you haven't done so already, make sure you grab the watch list there. That is the link, guys. Every single morning we send it out before we come on at 8:30, absolutely free for you. NIO, top of the list this morning. We mentioned it briefly there. Let's dig into it a little bit deeper here. Up decently after it made its Singapore debut overnight. Brand new listing on the Singapore exchange. Had a big rally. It's also going to be included in a tech index on the Hang Seng. So a couple of positive notes for NIO.
Yeah, I mean, why not? We're talking about, electric vehicles. It's been hot for a while, obviously, and NIO's been, getting crushed with this market. So now they're obviously listed there on the Singapore exchange with a successful debut overnight there, and now being added to the Hang Seng Tech Index, with other names that we all know about. Even the other auto names are in there as well, Li and Xpeng. So with Alibaba, JD, all those guys, Pinduoduo. So as we go, but there's a nice little move up for NIO. I mean, look at this. And again, it's like, is it too far, too fast? Like, did we miss the bottom like crazy on a lot of these names? And I'm going to say probably yes, honestly. Like, even if the market does fall another 10 or 15%, does NIO really revisit $12? I mean, that's a big move up, man. 12 to 18? Like, that's 50% since the 12th. It's the 20th today. So you have 1 day, 2 days, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. So in 6 days, you're up 50% here on NIO. Will we see the bottoms again on some of these names? I just said no for NEO, maybe others, but I really like this name to put in, even just put into your portfolio. I mean, I don't really want to like, and as I said, it's not about switching from Tesla over to NEO or anything like that, but you got to trade stocks that have been working with some kind of catalyst. And right now, NEO has that catalyst, right? Yesterday was a good day for NEO. It's been, obviously, we've talked about some decent moves here NEO just started off yesterday down here near 15. It wasn't a crazy day for them, touching 17, but again, you know, going from 16 to 17 is good, and I can see something similar today again, going from this 1750, breaking 18, and then heading a little bit higher. So for me, it's a catalyst. It's a good story. There's no downgrades or anything like that coming for NEO. As far as I can see on this news, it was well supported over there in Singapore last night. So all motors firing off right now. Electric motors, I guess, vehicles going off here. I like NEO. I'm going to watch it against that 18. Again, I'm not going to take the break right now. I will take the break relatively small. That's what I wrote down here on the sticky note. Let's try a small break of 18, because the other day when we took the break at 50, I have to find it on the daily chart. On here. We took this 1550 break right there pretty early in the morning. I was a little skeptical about doing that, but it worked. That was that break here off that low. So boom, that worked out that day. So we'll see about an 18 break as well. And then any bids back down to 17 is what we like. So I'm actually hoping for some AMD longs and some NEO longs here on a pullback in the market. And I don't know if we're going to get it off the market on close or market on opens, because you have 400,000 to bid right now. So hey, my orders are. I just got long something or short something. What did I just get into? Ross stores? Okay, yeah, I just got into Ross. All right, so we'll talk about Ross in a minute, but NEO, I like a bid coming back in, so we'll see what happens here back down to 17. So I'm already parked there right now, 17.20. Let's see if we get that fill. Probably not, but if we do, that's where I want to start to build the position. And then if we take down 17, we'll hold it a little bit, but that 1650 is also not a bad level. So you have some stuff to work with, but again, it's kind of clear sailing through 18, and I like it, and I just think that you got to get above 20 here. We talked about that. We can get above, actually, it's not even 20. We can get above 19, then I think we've cleared a lot of this damage, and then it's upside on NIO. So, again, the number one name on my sticky note today and on our watch list is NIO.
Yeah, it's got that 50 period, which is lingering just above the that 18 level for me. On the 15-minute, yeah, it looks real clean at $18. I think you can see on the gap up. And this one, it's not earnings, but it also fits the gap up profile that Michael Noss talked about, certainly a couple times this week. But that 18.30, 18 quarter, 18.30, this is it on the daily. And the day after we touch that level, you see it roll back to make that wick off bottom and double bottom that eventually put in. So it needs to get through this. And that sets up for me as a potential fail break. Like it's doing that little sell-off game that it does. So if there's a fail break at 18, it's got to clear 18 quarter, 18.30 to me before it breaks out, which does set it up for a curl in front of that level. And then if you come back to the 15-minute chart, this is what I love. I love the fact that we ran away from this level and then just held it like gangbusters yesterday. So 1650 into 17. That is a cluster of support that I want to be buying in front of for NIO.
Let's go to some of the chip makers back on watch again this morning. A lot of them in positive territory here. AMAT the exception off of earnings, but all of the bigger ones obviously higher on the day. Just be aware that IMMX back to day highs here. 5 million float on that. So could be a wild one, that IMMX. Let's talk about chip stocks.
It's like every time Brendan just randomly, it's like, yeah, we'll get back to IMMX. I just got short off that high of the day on IMMX, which is, it's bizarre how that always tends to happen, but yeah, it's because it just moved. So usually that means a little bit of something. Now, AMAT did not have a good report. I think I probably said it last night that I didn't think it was going to go well for these guys after what happened to Cisco, citing supply chain issues, and that's certainly going to be the reason for the concern. No one is complaining about demand in the space. Now, remember, AMAT makes the stuff, the machines that make the chips, right? So obviously, like it kind of goes down the line that you could see with their guide if they're certainly right about where things are going. That could be a little bit of a weigh on the sector as a whole. Now, AMD's pretty optimistic about it, Intel's pretty pessimistic about it, and these are just their outlooks. And AMAT's a little, I guess, pessimistic. But keep in mind, they're a little more conservative. All that said, it's flat on the session, and the reason is because it's a pretty well-valued stock. And that's why it's not like AMAT was never going to be down 10% because it had a pretty good valuation and because of what they do in their structure. I don't see a trade in it. However, NVIDIA got a little bit of a, I think was it a price decline, or was it just a, it was a price target cut. There wasn't a downgrade, just a price target cut. The issue with NVIDIA is, and I got away from this, it's like the level I like is up here at that 180 to 182. That's the short that really worked a couple of times, and not necessarily diddling in the middle, as they say. 170 looks like the support for me on NVIDIA. If we get down and see that price, I think that's where I try to be a dip buyer. Things that held that bottom yesterday, if it had support there before, then I do kind of like that level. If we break out on NVIDIA, I want to stay away from the break because you're going right into that chop zone. I'd rather try and play the fade on NVIDIA if it comes up to that 180 price in particular. I don't see a trade on AMAT in particular. I think it's sort of stick to the ones that have been moving. Like AMD and NVIDIA have been the ones that have moved. AMAT may have reported, but you said, like, they miss top and bottom lines that are flat. I mean, that's good for the company that they can miss top and bottom and be flat, but it's not good for day trading.
All right, so we're talking about semis, I guess. All right, so AMD is obviously on my mind. We already took it out, so let's spin this.
Money.
We just took about 80 cents. Well, not about. We took exactly 80 cents out there. So we're 71.80 out, 71 right there. So a quick little move there for ROST. We're only out of half of that name, so we'll get to that and what we're expecting. But that's just a quick move right there. So we'll get in and out of that 80 center right there. Look, I love AMD. AMD's been absolutely my best stock for the last little while, and we've hit it off early every single morning. We've let it settle down. It's come back into some levels that we like, and we've hit this thing long. I'm not changing that today at all. I still think it's a long here for AMD. We are going to have to watch out for the NASDAQ coming through. I don't mind an NVIDIA downgrade, et cetera, as that goes. I think AMD is going to continue to work. Here we have some levels. Again, like right into here I like this 97 bid. So we could catch that if it comes through. I'm starting right now. I have some bids at 97.50, something like that, in and around there. Excuse me, I took alls here. I don't know. Here's 97.50. So yesterday we had a dip back in. We supported that 97.50 before rallying and then coming back in at the close. Yesterday was not obviously a great day there into the close, so you got to watch out for that. You did bounce off 96.50 right there. And then if you do want to bring it all the way back in, I mean, you have a 95 bid that we can try to support as well at certain levels. But hey, if this is going to indeed be a red day, and I sort of turned around and said that there goes Ross again to the downside. So I did turn around and say that today might be a fade Friday. So I don't know, we don't want to be in this for very long, but we understand that there's that 96 bottom that I like. I like a 97 there. I like 97. So, if we can get something cooking around here, that'll be a good little level to start building on. And then we'll, again, maybe this is the red day. We've been perfect. I think it's 9-1 our last 10 days on a net P&L wise, and that's because a lot of these names have bounced. So if we take the long in here and it doesn't bounce, then we're not going to start the same day off the way we've been doing. It's bounced off some of these pre-market bottoms here, right? So we're going to wait to see. The pre-market bottom here is 98.50. In a dream situation for me, AMD comes down into this 96 area and holds, obviously, because we're going to be long. So let's test our longs into here on AMD. 97, 97.50 is where I'm looking. And then we'll worry about this 96.50 if and when that comes through. So right now, that's my target here is going to be AMD into the mid-90s. That's where I want to, mid-97s is where I want to start buying it, and then we'll have a look at it if and when it takes down 96. There goes Ross, by the way, right now, starting to come back down. So we're short there, 72. Right now, you're at 70.50. I put a bid at 67, so that's what I'm thinking about that. We can make a $4 winner off the open. We'll be pretty happy. But without any further ado, less of me, more of her. What's up, Ms. V?
Hey guys, thank you so much for all the support on the chat. I see every message and I'm so grateful. And also ask you to like this video, guys, on my last day. I would really appreciate if you help us to get as many likes as possible. You know how much I like likes, and I would really appreciate that. Brandon.
Miss V loves likes. It's Miss V Day if you are just joining us, guys. Make sure you hit the like for Miss V on her final day. Apple, back to the upside here, along with some of the other big mega cap tech stocks today. Nice look here, 1.4% A number of positive notes, including one from Wedbush this morning. Analysts essentially saying during this period of market drawdown and turmoil, Apple, I mean, kind of obvious, but Apple a good place to be.
Relatively speaking, it has been. I think that's one thing to keep in mind. I mean, the market's pulled back. Everyone's been hit by it. There isn't a single name that you can show me, unless it's in the energy space, obviously, that that hasn't been beaten up. Apple is pretty much at a pretty significant level right now. If you look on the 15, you can see that double bottom, that 138.80 ish. 75, whatever you want to call it, that's close enough, just below that 139. We got below there yesterday. We didn't really hold it, but we've gapped now back above. So you're not really out of the waters because the buying that's been in front of this level has been on relatively low volume because it's only pre-market volume at this particular point. So you get through this and you've got a huge bottom channel that can still happen on Apple. But I like it as a base of operations if it can hold at the open. I don't really see much in terms of like topside resistance that isn't 140 specifically for Apple. So the key thing I'll be watching at the open, it's kind of like Tesla 700 yesterday. It's like if you can hold 138.80 off the open, then you've got room to run up. And then you get to that even 140, which does leave you some room for a bit of a winner. But that's a see how the market reacts to that 138.80. Kind of like Tesla 700. Went back and forth a few times on Tesla yesterday before being along. I could see the same thing playing out for Apple. Just a quick update. The IMMX came right into, whoops, that's the daily chart. Came right into the lower high, scalps them like 260, scalps them out to 250. The high of the day is 270, so that's about 1-to-1. And it has a base at 240. So this is a scalp trade. If it does take out the high, I'm not thinking, this isn't a jailbreak long unless it takes 280 from the daily chart. So if it holds 280 at the open, it's still short off those levels. Just keep in mind, you file this one away. Whenever you have this kind of a channel form, if it does not break the 235 in the morning session, a lot of times you do not want to sleep on it at lunch, right? So, that's kind of one of those things I'm always going to be watching out for. Sometimes you can miss it by falling asleep at lunchtime, but, just watch for this 235 if it can hold all session long.
As far as Apple is concerned, I don't know. We really, it's too bad that none of these trades are showing up. But, we really traded Apple quite well again over the last little while. NASDAQ's been really good to us. And, it's starting to go now. I mean, maybe Apple's found a bottom. Look, I picked some up yesterday. We talked about that, or 2 days ago, at this 138 level. That was sort of the target that I was sort of screaming to Pratt about, 138 a little while ago. So we picked it up, and I'm not going to talk my book because I've owned Apple forever, and I think a lot of you, if you even own the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ or anything like that, you probably own Apple as well. And look, I mean, they're one of the best executing companies that's out there, for sure. Their PE is still relatively high, so I mean, it could still fade in. Ever since it took down that 150, it's been pretty disastrous to the downside. There hasn't been too much relief. There was a couple days where we got some bounces into Apple, but maybe today that you're up 1 point. See, this is the thing that I always look at for Apple. You're up 1.48 and the market's only up 1.2. So, to me, maybe there's some buyers in Apple on a relative strength. So if I were to play breakouts, I really like this 140 area. But for me, I've been short Apple forever, and I don't really want to change that tune until it gives me a different reason to do that. But I'm going to be trying to buy it down here around 137, obviously, using that as a bottom. I mean, that's pretty clear as well. So if we can get into this area, 138, 137 again, which we're not too far away from that, man. I mean, it's 139 right now. Apple easily drops $1, $1.50 off the open, and we're right into this level. So I'm looking to pick up some Apple if we do dip down into there. But at the same time, I feel like today's going to be a long day for Apple. I did say it's going to be could possibly be fade out Friday. So, there is a potential for the market to break. And when it does, you're going to wish you were short Apple. So we're going to play it as the market opens up. We're going to wait to see what Apple does. But my initial thought right here is it is going to drop down in. And then again, I don't know how nasty the NASDAQ's going to get today. I think we're going to get down 2-3% for it to break this 136. So if that happens, then obviously it's going to break it. But for now, I'm a buyer down here around 137, 137.50 or so. I like AMD and Facebook better.
Right. Big day yesterday for Lucid on the Saudi news that we talked about in depth. We get the gap to the upside this morning, so possibly a continuation here, but we are coming off a little bit. No additional catalysts or anything this morning, but monster day on huge volume yesterday for Lucid.
It's actually really low volume this pre-market, so most of this pullback has something to do with 20, but a lot to do with Tesla pulling back, NIO pulling back, both of those on better relative volume than Lucid, and it's getting dragged down with it. It's got a, oh, I'm missing a bunch of data, it looks like. Yeah, well, it's got a double top at 20 that you can see there. If it does pull back in, you can see the channel 1850, 17. Those are your levels to work off of for Lucid. On your daily, yeah, it's another one. It's just like kind of like NIO. It's still below that 50 period. That does come into play on a 20 break. That's at about 21 and a quarter. 20 is the level to work off of at the open here. It sets up for both a fade and a break at that level because it's drifted down below it. And if we do fall, I mean, 1850 is sort of the obvious first support, but it's got just like NIO, it did a whip off or wick off bottom through its previous low and then made an immediate recovery, V-shaped, and the second leg of a breakout is just above this 20 level here. So, it is setting up pretty nicely. I paid for the short so I can go in both directions here on Lucid, although it's got significantly less volume. Like NIO, just more exciting because it's done almost 3 million shares worth of volume, and Lucid here at less than 500,000. It was a little bit reversed yesterday.
Yeah, Rost right now. Rost, we can floss it off as that's now $1.50 in the money on the short for ROST. I think Lucid and NIO, I agree. NIO's a little more hype right now because of the, the news and everything like that. But Lucid, I think, is almost going to be a better trade than NIO. I mean, a lot of stuff has to happen for both of them for me to work out. I'm going to take, again, a small break of 20. It's not something that I normally do. We talked about that. But we had Lucid yesterday at 1750 right here. It popped all the way to 20. Like, that was a monster move early, right? Why can't it do that again? Nothing's changed, in my opinion, about their story. It's the same story, and there's no new news. So, look, if you get a dip back into 19, I'm already sitting here waiting to get these longs. If it does come back into 19, that would be like a dream situation, I guess. And then you do have this consolidation rate here between 1875 or so and 19. So if this trade's going to break down on us, it's going to be a breakthrough 1875 back in. So I really feel like this is setting up for a great opportunity to get long and really try to push your luck here with a little bit of Lucid. So I like it, man. The Saudis are behind this name. They've just talked about their production being online for 500,000 cars middle of this decade when they were predicting end of the decade. And I know we're throwing around words like decades here, but hey, in this space, I mean, I think that's what we sort of have to hope for is just that these car companies get production going because hot on their tail, Ford, Jaguar, Porsche, like everybody that's involved with that's Volkswagen, right? They're all coming at the electric vehicle space. So, if you wanted Lucid, now may be a decent time to buy it. I don't know if these are eventually going to be bought out by any of the manufacturers that I just mentioned. At some of these valuations, they're pretty cheap. So I'd have to say, honestly, for a day trade, I really like Lucid down here. Any kind of a movement into this 19, I want to be all over it. I already have my bids there. And again, this is the problem with day trading the way we do. Yesterday, I only had 4 or 5 symbols all day, right? And I'm trying to do the same thing right now. We already have Rost on our list here. NIO, AMD. I mean, here, I'll just call it up so you guys can see it a little bit better here. NIO, AMD, all on the sticky note right now. These are the names I'm really excited about. NIO, AMD, Lucid, Rost, Facebook. So there's a few names there on the sticky note. Bears, Bulls, Valeria can share that as well on the chat, but definitely Lucid is right up there. I'm excited for this name. I did pay for shorts in case things fall apart. So, I'm willing to go both ways here, but Lucid is a name I want to be on. I'm excited about it. So let's go EV, NIO and Lucid, 2 names I like.
In this group here for a second, talk about Tesla because Elon is Elon. Obviously, nothing has changed in that world, but Tesla trading in positive territory today, back above some key levels from yesterday. So there's that. I also wanted to mention this headline this morning that caught my eye. No longer the #1 position as far as weighting is concerned in ARK's innovation main fund, losing out to Roku. Guys, so just think about that for a second.
You know what? Actually, let's not think about that because the last thing you need to have happen 6 minutes before the market open is to have your brain explode. Because that's nonsense. It doesn't make any sense.
I prefer like 1 minute into the market have my brain explode.
Let's try not to make sense of that. I've told people I don't understand necessarily Roku, so That's fine. You can not get a business. I understand Tesla. I understand why they're going to be the winner long term. That doesn't necessarily mean the stock has to only go up from here. Of course, that's not the way the market works. But you got to pick one. If a gun is to your head and you're going to tell me who's going to have greater than a 50% market share of EVs, let's just say, or greater than 25% of market share in EVs in the next 20 years from now, there's only one name that you're going to pick with any confidence, and that's going to be Tesla. But 720 has been pretty significant. We got past that price. This was look, it was a 715 that I had yesterday, and then there was that issue, and I ended up with only a 720 after the fact. But that was the break that got to 30. We're now battling that level here. The same way 700 was being battled yesterday, and then eventually won out to the long side. 720 is that line in the sand price for this morning. So that's what I'm watching here. And again, you go either direction. You want to let this shake out, I think, in the first couple of minutes, because when there was a failure, like a wick bottom through 700, and then it recovered on the opening rush, Tesla was just a long from there. And I think that's the same thing that I want to play off 720. If it goes down, 700, 680, both of those are pretty key levels. If it heads to the upside, 730 is weak resistance. I think 40 is probably a little bit bigger than that.
I have to shout out D-L on our chat, because for some reason I hadn't heard about this before. I don't know if you have either. Kathy wouldn't. That's funny. Like, why haven't we not heard about that before? Like, that's shout out to you, DL there. That was funny. I thought that was funny. Like,
that's a good one.
Yeah, we talked about Aunt Kathy, and honestly, I don't know whether or not, whatever you think about Roku, like, if you're going to have an innovation ETF, I just feel like Roku's not innovating anything anymore. They maybe were ahead of the game, possibly with their little stick there, firing it into TVs. I know they have some good deals. I'm not here to insult Roku or anything like that. I just feel like ARK maybe has lost a little bit of its way, and they need to slow down here and stop trying to pick these bottoms and then dumping and just reassessing their positions on a daily basis. Obviously, here's the ARK ETF right now, getting absolutely wood-shedded there for Kathy, because it was 130 and cruising, and then that was November, and you're down to 40. I mean, it's actually doing better than probably a lot of the stocks that she even holds in there, and part of that probably was because Tesla hadn't fallen yet. So the fact that they're now regrouping on a lot of that, she hasn't made great calls on Bitcoin. When Bitcoin was 50, 60,000, I mean, a lot of these pundits were cheering for 100, 200. She has, 500,000 as a price target on this? So I don't know if it's puff pastime for Miss Wood, but this seems like it's getting a little out of hand here on that name. But okay, let's just go over to, at some point you're going to have to buy ARK or some of those names. You don't have to, but at some point it's going to get attractive. I don't know when that's going to come through. I'm still in ARK KQ, the robotic side. So we can talk about that a little bit later. But the market just spiked up there, and it was because of the NASDAQ released some of their imbalances, right? So SoFi there on a bid, Mullen on a bid, Siri on a bid. I kind of say these all a little tongue-in-cheek, because these aren't very expensive companies here that are helping lift some of this NASDAQ move. So it's nice to see that. Obviously, we're going to have Apple Watch here. I think Apple's going to take down that 140 today. We talked about that. I don't know if it's going to be a long run up for them, but to take down 140 is not a great call because you're at 139.50, but that's going to be nice. And then there's your 140.50. So yeah, let's ease back. We're short Ross stores. We want to get more short in that name. And we've already talked about some of the other plays here, Brendo.
All right, pretty quiet day once again, guys. On the small cap front, IMMX, really the only game in town, so I'll give you my take here. Neil pointed out this level, pretty obvious, 275 up through. I just put like an area here up to 280. There's a seller at 260 right now, so every time it gets up there, it gets slammed back down. So we'll mark off the top of the pre-market up to 280, see what happens there. Again, 5 million float, however, these low float stocks have not followed through as they once did. So let's see what happens with IMMX, guys.
Yeah, so Foot Locker, like we said, had a bit of a beat and maybe surprised some people in the market. Mike, certainly not you, I suppose, obviously, so we'll give that shout out. But they're still in a big channel here on the daily chart. If you look at this, since the last flush, it just has not been able to bounce away from 26 to 32. You thought maybe there'd be a chance it could break out on the good earnings, but it's once again rejected that same price. Keep in mind the short interest here, a bit of a factor at 33. It's 7%, so 33 is resistance until it is not. For Foot Locker, we'll be watching that. I'm in that IMMX, the only position I am in. And of course, Tesla. Did it just? Yeah,
probably tanking.
Again, it just made another what just happened? Like, what did you just say? It's almost like another tweet came out or something. I have no idea. But Tesla, which looked like it was going to battle at that 720 level, has now cracked below it. So right down to the pre-market lows at 715. It is going to be on watch. 720, I think, is your sort of interesting line in the sand. I thought there was going to be a spike to be faded on NEO and maybe loosen off those highs. But with what just happened to Tesla, they've all just sort of come down with it. So we'll see what happens. Want to be a little bit cautious at that open to be sure. Don't need to jump into anything too far away. But man, Tesla already starting to sell off. Could go red or test red right at the open. Not in red is Miss V.
Yes,
for the second last time here, unfortunately for us. She'll be ringing that bell, but she's in the green today, and the market is green. If the market can't rally today in her honor, well then, go to hell, market. But the countdown is on. It is Friday, hopefully not a free fall Friday.
Yeah.
Bringing Miss V in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
All right. The market might be going to hell regardless of this, but we are now short $2 in the money on Ross stores here. We're going to get out at 67 if it comes all the way down here, or we're going to try to respect that 74 if the short does come through. I think today could be anointed SoFi day possibly here, so let's see what happens. SoFi takes out $8 in the pre-market. It's fading now. I'm long, so we just got long 90. We wanted it there, 92, sorry. We wanted this against this 70. If 70 breaks, we're gone. Maybe SoFi gets faded today. I don't know, but right now we're into SoFi. Right now, coming through, so that's one play for me. Now SoFi long 92 right here. We'll get a piece out at 8, and then we'll see if we can take out that 810, guys.
Oh, definitely that is a BS wick on Rost. That couldn't have actually gone up there because I'm sitting on the offer. Come on, chart. Like, now you don't want to work? I'll pull the black chart up for you guys because it's open. You got to be able to see it. I just saw a spike. I was looking to fade Ross till 75. No way it went there. Broke 72.
$75?
So I'm on 74.
No, I'm on 74.
This wick, this wick went up to 75. It did break 72 very, very briefly, but looks like it came right back in. NEO already starting to fade, so it looks like that pop and fade idea. Well, there was no pop just yet, but Tesla is trying to march. There's your wick off bottom. It's testing that 720. This is that line in the sand area. I'm not reloading IMMX in front of that high. I want to get closer to that 270 level, but here comes Tesla, 720 once again. Foot Locker, no move just yet, and Lucid still holding below $20 at about $19.75. No test of that level just yet.
You just talked about every stock I was going to look at there.
Oh, my bad.
No, it's not, nothing. We're just looking at the same stuff, which is good. Lucid, I'm waiting for that to fall in. And we could talk about a new, oh man, SoFi was just in the money 4 or 5 cents. Now it's out 7 or 8 cents. But yeah, NEO, I mean, some of these names are starting to pull in. So this could start to turn out to be a little nasty of a move down here. We do have, NEO's not open yet, so that's the problem. So we just took a 750 bid, 753 bid, but NEO not open yet, so that's starting to fade in. We just got our okay, we got attention, alert. AMD is now in the building. So we are now long AMD 9750 right here. Let's see where we go on this play. Like, we have lower bids to catch if we can get them, man, down here at 97. But then this 96, like if that gets faded, I'm actually going to cancel my 97 bid and go a little bit lower than that. Like maybe like 96. I don't know, 96.80, something like that. We'll put our bid right there right now for that. As here it goes, starting to go up to the upside as per usual, and I'm going to hate myself for doing this. Let's start getting some out of AMD. Up in the money now, 30, 40 cents. We just took a piece out there at 88, so that's a nice win to start the day. But hey, we're not going to try to rest on these names here, as we have raw stores now. Just filled me, Neil, at 73.50, so watch out. This is starting to go back at the upside. SoFi's fading down, but hey, we're out of the money 7 cents. Let's not cry over that one. And then NEO, for some reason, is not open. So I have to like really reassess this. I don't know why it's taking this long, but it is getting hit here as it's waiting to open up. Like NEO still, let's check the imbalances. This is not open yet. So I don't even see it on here. I don't know what's going on. Do we have, like, are we having quote problem? Here it is. Now it's open.
Now
okay.
it's open.
Now it's open. So let's go long NEO.
It looks like these chickens have come home to Rost. That's a garbage one. You know what's a bad one. I'm a dad joke guy. But that one's starting to test 75. There's 75 to the upside. You're going to see IMMX testing the pre-market low. Still has not gotten through, so I have not changed my position in IMMX. Why am I not long Foot Locker here? Like, this is, Foot Locker did break the top of that channel, and now my chart's not going to load. So once again, I'll go to the black charts. Serenity now, Neil. Serenity now. There we go. I just got Foot Locker 33.05. When it broke the top, I didn't get the fill, but now that it comes back in, it is on the break. We talked about that channel on the daily chart. Now it has finally broken. Tesla, and so I saw someone say, just jump into Tesla, Neil. No, I'm not.
Do
said,
Do it.
You saw I was long in front of 7 and scalped it twice yesterday. I was short when it broke, and then ended up missing out on the real direction of the trade with a couple of scalp trades that made money, but then I missed like the $30 move because I was too hasty. It looks like the downside is winning for Tesla here, so I now want to fade in front of that 720 level. But I could have jumped in and been the trade already, I suppose. It's tested a couple times to the upside. I might look for like a 15 to 20 entry. Somewhere in that pocket is where I want the short. But let's see what happens. It's trying to make another test to the upside. Let's see if I can't get in.
All right, so right now we are rocking here with AMD. We talked about picking that up. We gave you the exact levels that we're in on, and now we're 50 cents in the money. And this name's trying to go, man. It's trying to save us a little bit here because right now SoFi, like, hello, just straight to the downside here. I thought SoFi was going to get going here off of $8, man. So that was a key level for me. Let's see if it holds it. Right now we're out of the money 10 cents on SoFi. What just happened there? I just got in and out of something. Oh, Ross. Ross took off. So Ross just took that out at 75. That might be the wick high there, though. So we didn't get out of everything, man. We're going to wait. I'm going to cancel some of these bids now. That might now just start to come in. That just hit 75 and hit back out. That was my out. So we got out 74.50 there. Maybe we got to get back into ROST, but we're long on everything right now. What else just popped in here now? Lucid's popping in, man. Neo's popping in. All these things are popping off, and I don't like it because the market is fading. The only short we have is ROST.
Yeah, it looks like we'll see what happens. Oh, I could have been on already at 720. I get it, but I wanted to see this shake out on Tesla here. I did grab it, like I said, back at 715 there, 715 and change. I just got someone in front of 710. 700 is obviously the next level down, so that's what I want to try to play. At this point, I want to short pops into that 720. If the market wants to head down, I'm going to try to oblige it. That Rost, it's still on the NASDAQ. So it did make a test, never got through 75, so I'm still at that 73 price. We'll see if it can pull back in, but that is pretty strong. You know what I didn't check? I didn't check to see the short interest on Ross. I didn't think it was very significant, but we'll definitely check in on that. The only long I have is going to be Foot Locker, and it's still maintaining that breakout for now, but if the market gets weak enough, it might not matter, and we've seen that happen before. I think it was, I forget the name. Yeah, it was Home Depot. It didn't make a difference. How strong it was. If the market gets weak enough, you got to watch out for even any of your longs, even if they had a good report like Foot Locker actually did.
Yeah, that sucks that we got stopped out a little bit of Ross, but we got back in here. So we're short now, Ross 73.50, the same price. We actually lost about $1 on that move there with our average price was 73.50. It went up, we got out at 74.50, but now we're back into that short as well. So the only thing, unfortunately, Ross is saving us right now because it's the only short that we have on. And then there goes SoFi to the downside. So that did break lower. So it's only down 1%. I mean, we're not going to pull the panic lever here, but we did get out. We did have a big position there. We thought 90 could hold. It didn't. And then right there, we got out on this break lower. So now SoFi, honestly, it has a 750 peg to it. Other than that, man, maybe this name doesn't want to work today, but let's just see. We're going to hold on to a little bit of that and see if it can work. Right now, Ross, $1 in the money, and Brendan's got something for us. What's up, bud?
NURO just popped up on volume, guys. We had a big move late in the day, if you remember yesterday. Back to 580 at the end of the day, but coming into 460 there was a volume alert. Someone bought up a bunch of Neuro.
Oh, yeah, that's got a wick bottom to 450. I'm actually on the offer of Neuro, but below $5. When it broke to 5, I was I said it was a trap this morning, I think, in the chat to somebody. It might have been Nicole. I'm not sure. I forget who it was. It might have been Tisha, actually. Tisha, I was saying it was a bit of a trap shorting at 520, so that's pie in my face because it was clearly a good short. But if it pops to 5, I do like it. I just took first leg out on Ross, and we'll see what happens with it. If it can actually flush back into those 70s, which I think it could go to. Tesla, I'll zoom back out. Let's try to do it this way. I'll try to zoom back out so you can see. If it gets back into 700, like you've seen it hold that before, and then a wipe out bottom at 794, I'm looking for the trend to possibly continue, but if we pop, I mean, the short's not back in at 715. It's really more around that 720 area that I have to be concerned with. And coming to the other names, which we thought were going to be more in play, Neo, there was a pop and fade. I wasn't, I mean, I wanted 18s. We talked about the 18 level. It got to 1785. Now it's starting to come back in. So that 1650 to 17 channel, we're getting close, baby. We're going to get really close to that just now. Rost now about $1 in the money. Why have I not taken anything else out? Oh, yeah, no, I just got the next leg out there. So I'm going to try and hold this curl now, but we already got a couple of legs in there. Going to have to adjust my stop to the downside and see if it can't get back into this 70 level. Keep in mind, this stock was down way more than this and has put in support 67. support 70. So it is still kind of working to the upside. You want to make sure you're taking profit on the way down.
Like, didn't I literally call this fade out Friday? And I look over and the only short we have on is Ross, which is monstrous anyways. But it's coming back in a little bit, 70 cents in the money on that one. We did average in, I mean, things are getting better here, so it's all good. We did average into our AMD, so let's see if that can fly upside a little bit here as the NASDAQ's trying. But again, very, very whippy here off the open. I don't like that we faded as much as we did. We did call it fade Friday, so, you know, to be expected a little bit there. But okay, let's just get something out. Of AMD just shot up and I didn't do anything about it. We're long at 97.50, so, you know, if we could start getting something out here in the 70, here it goes, 70s, let's go, 75, 76. Keep going higher, buddy, and then we'll make some money back that we've lost on some of these plays already. The only trade that we've gotten really hit on was this one right here, SoFi. We did buy it back. We're going to give it down to the 760. If that breaks, we're gone on SoFi. I mean, we're making such good calls everywhere else. Let's not lose it here on SoFi. Okay, so there goes Ross, down to 72 and change. We're back in the money on this trade. Even though we got out, our net now, because we got back in, is actually positive on Ross. So right now it's coming back in right here. Let's see if that can fade out. But here goes the market back to the downside. Looks like NEO says hold my beer to all the longs, man. I mean, they say Singapore listing, Hang Seng listing, who cares? Nicely upside and then faded out here today. Now down that 3%, but we just bought and picked a little bit, but my average price is right here at 38. So we need this to work upside a little bit more here, hopefully for us. And then Lucid, we're still sitting in all these trades. We haven't got out of anything. So Lucid trying to defend that 19. This is the price that we liked. So let's see if Lucid wants to work today. But here comes the market. It just faded and stopped on that 12,000. So just note that. Like, that's 12,000. We've talked about that level. It just hit it and rejected it. So not a great sign here for the NASDAQ.
No, and not at all. And I should mention as well, volatility, UVXY just bounced off of 15. It's still down 3% overall from last night, but it just bounced off 15, which was a significant level. This BEST halted, looks like a volatility halt on this, very, very light volume. So I'll monitor it, but it didn't do a lot of volume going into this. But this is another one of these 30 cents to gap up over $1 to halt to the upside, now up 500%. I do not know the story here, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I saw that stock at any point until it just halted now. If you're watching overall some names from yesterday, just to quickly get over to where are you, Rivian. Rivian, I mean, all of the names, they all did this. NEO, yep. Lucid, doesn't matter, but Rivian just failed through 30 back into 29. It's trying to catch a bid that was a significant level before. It also just barely held green. Green to red, and now trying to go back into the green is Rivian, making a bit of a bounce. Oddly enough, I show you that bottom so that you can see that Tesla is holding up a little bit. It's weird, holding up a little better than the rest. It's still in the money, that short side trade, but it's nowhere near the fall back to the downside that I'm seeing here in Lucid, Rivian, and NEO. So I'm in the Tesla short out of the four, and of course it's got some relative strength. Still in the money, but can't ignore the fact that it's showing some signs of life here. IMMX, it's really not doing it. It's still in the range, which is bullish for you guys. But that 260 is holding, 270 is the top. It's still got that 235 bid on it. That's going to be key. And Rost is approaching the reload station. Brendo.
Another big mover here, MDXH. Just be aware, this is an ADR, so it is listed over in Europe, I think. Just got to 11 there on a big volume spike, guys. There was a positive note from the FDA on a cancer treatment for this company this morning as well. So MDXH.
All right, we're just sort of getting things locked and loaded here to try to lick some of these wounds out there. I just noticed here Facebook, we're actually fine. Facebook, I wrote down 195, and that came and went real fast there off the open. But look how choppy this was through 195. That's going to be hard for me to get into that. So now we're going to have to wait for a pullback in. But Facebook right now, very, 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 very choppy off the open. And I said I liked Facebook long, so obviously it's the one that's working up now 3%. So there it goes, man. Nice little move. NASDAQ obviously took down 12,000 right there, so far so good on that play. The only name that's really been disappointing here, NEO just took some out. We got some out there at 30, so all is well on that. But look at the NASDAQ start to rip up, and then I just want everyone to alert right now, AMD not going up. SoFi also not going up on some of this move. So, I mean, SoFi, I guess, went to 74 there, but, expecting it on this move for the NASDAQ to really have gotten going, and that doesn't seem to have happened there. So not super happy with some of the longs moves that we have right now. AMD just not working on that move, so that sucks, obviously. And then Facebook, we missed it. So maybe we have to look at Microsoft. We talked about Apple as well today. There's other names. I mean, I'm just looking at what's on my list. We're already in every single name here. NEO, AMD, Lucid, Raw Stores, just not Facebook. So that's next to come. Look at Apple, right back up to 140 again. That dipped to 138. Remember we were waiting 137? Look at this. 1, 2, 3. Look at all these candles straight to the upside. And then look at my friend AMD that I've sort of trusted here. Complete opposite, man. Downside and not giving us any love to the upside. So this name could break lower, guys. Watch out for AMD. I'm probably going to lighten this one up here.
And watch out for Microsoft. Oh, how did we forget about 258 on Softy yesterday? That was that double top that was gorgeous for the short side of the trade. Well, guess what? We're retesting that. You wonder what brought the market back up just there? Softy was definitely a big part of it, going bottom to top, right into that 258. It's still going to be a resistance level, but watch for this to break. This could easily drag the market higher if we can hold a bit above 258. Right now, 58.50 is the high. I want to see us holding a bit above there before I get into any longs on what, for now, looks like a wick bottom on the NASDAQ. So, you know, the shorts have worked early, but that is not always how it plays out. You have a wick bottom, and now you've recovered back above 12, and a lot of times that can be the beginning of a strong move. So it's still a downward trend, but you want to make sure that if you haven't taken profits on the shorts, now is a good time to do it. And as I just mentioned, Softy, 258. Is it going to try to hold this bid? Going to give it some time to see if it can consolidate above that 58 price. If it can do that, I'm looking 58, let's say 50 on the breakout, and then have maybe a tight stop like 75 to $1 worth, and see how far we can go. 60 upside, 65 as well.
Yeah, we got to find some shorts, man. This market is not, I mean, the market's fine, but some of these names, like we just talked about here, so we're in the last bit of AMD right now, as that just came down in there, so we took a bid. This is probably not going to work, man. A break of 96 here for AMD is going to be a disaster, so we have to wait for that one. NEO also fading out here. I mean, some of these plays for the long today, just not well. So we're going to have to hold out hope that maybe there's some kind of a bounce. I mean, we just got a nice little bid there. It's too bad I missed the reload on Ross there.
I was at 70.
I don't know how I missed that either. I think we went up there and came back in. But hopefully NEO can hold this on some of these moves. But right now, it looks like we're DOA on some of these bids now. And we said that could happen today. We called it Fade Friday, and here I am long. So definitely not following my own rules. But long 97 flat here for AMD. So I don't think it's a horrible spot, but the way it's trading today, market positive 1%, AMD down keeps going down. So yeah, not good here. AMD looks like it wants to take down this 96, guys, which is going to be nasty. So watch out for this one coming back in. Same as SoFi. SoFi, like what a disaster this stock has been today. All these names got going yesterday. Thought we could trust them today. The answer to that one is no.
Well, also I can't trust these wicks on Ross, man. Like this, I mean, I thought I was right here to try to catch that curl. And another one of these wick tops, and it was deceiving when it had that wick top close to 75. But I missed the reload. I said I was looking for reload in Ross. I never got it. Microsoft couldn't hold that bid, so that long potential break is out the window. At this point, you got Tesla testing back down to 700. So that looks like it'll work out, but it probably doesn't mean, and I said this was likely to happen. I like the Foot Locker. It's tried to make that breakout. You can see it not holding here. In this market, should I really even be holding it back to a 31, given how weak we look? It's great on the higher time frame, but the weakness in this market has me wanting to tighten it up to a 32. If it can't hold that 32, I'm just going to get out of it. If this market comes to the downside, there are some names that we got to keep in mind here. Remember Apple? I don't know if you in Apple.
No, not yet.
So Apple is still holding above. Remember that 138.80 or so? We're like, yeah, that's the level for Apple. If it can maybe test that back and forth, it's holding the top end of that. So Apple is showing some signs of strength. If it's going to hold, I think maybe it can help the market. You saw Microsoft doing a piece of that, but now Apple is trying to do its best. Now in the bottom, come on, give me a break. I just missed getting out of Tesla for the $10 winner.
I had to get out of NEO
Look, I'm going to see if I can just take it out.
Nice.
I just got out of Tesla because 700 is coming. And if I'm going to test the 700 long, well, you can't be short if you're going to do that. Brendo?
Rivian making a big move here, guys. Not seeing anything yet, but RIVN, worth a note. Big time weakness. I mean, if you look at what happened yesterday, this thing was very, very strong, but all the way back to 29 already for Rivian.
Yeah, I mean, Lucid is testing my patience as well here on that. First of all, NEO fell through. We got out on that 17 break, unfortunately, on that one. Now it's probably going to head to the backside now. That bottom was 1685. And I don't know if we want to bottom pick these names anymore. Let's just forget about it. We're $2 in the money on Rost as well, so that's helping us today with our net at least. AMD is right here, man. It doesn't want to do anything except for go down. So we're just going to wait for this to break through 96, unfortunately. Give it a little bit of room lower than that. But other than that, this has been, we've given back yesterday's gain here on AMD, obviously, as this name has just fallen in and it just doesn't want to catch a bid. So unfortunately for us, we will get some out here in the 30s if it does give us that opportunity to get that back in. But again, right there, like I thought we were, just saying, throwing in the towel on AMD there, and it didn't even give me that 96.30 that I was looking for there. So yeah, this, man, I mean, as the NASDAQ just keeps coming down in, we're just going to have to say that's enough for AMD at some point. So we already have that order ready to go down there at that 95.80 or so level to get out of the majority of this trade as it's just falling down here. So watch out for that. NEO we got out of already. We talked about that. That was a good trade to get out of. It doesn't look like SoFi was very good because we got out of that at 760. Now it's at 770, but to save 10 cents there, it's a nice little rebound back for SoFi. So if you did hold that, congratulations. But for right now, it's Lucid just continues to fall down. We were able to get out at least some of that one, so this is not as bad. We actually got out of half of our Lucid trade there, and this was actually for flat. So right now, this is literally the loser that we have on this 23 cents. So we'll see what happens here. We did some work yesterday on this name, and it was a great one. But you're coming into these levels, so 1880. I guess we could take one more stab at that to see if that can hold. But right now, probably looking to get short. Let's give the longs one more chance here, though, as we're at some key levels. So maybe something works. Brendo? I think.
There we go. Grab Holdings, big mover yesterday as well off of earnings. Food delivery service company. Back to an interesting spot here. Tight consolidation late in the day yesterday, trying to act as support here for Grab.
Oh, Grab. Look, that one's been in play every day, and it's like I never managed to trade it. As this market gets back below at 12,000, it's not just Microsoft. Apple is strong too. Like it's back above that 138.8 or 139, whichever one you want to call it, and it's trying to attempt to break out here at that 140. So just like Microsoft, you got a wick top through the big resistance level, and it's trying to test it again. If it goes, you've still got a wick off bottom. I can't speak for Tesla or some of the EVs, but the big boys are trying to rally this market here. So I'm just eyeballing Softy and Apple. If there's a long, in addition to Foot Locker, which isn't working, it's got to be one of these two that I'm seeing. And it's either holding the bid above 258, breaking out 258.5 on Microsoft, or in the case of Apple, maybe I just get long in front of 138.80 and grab that like 139 low. The breakout there would be, it looks like 140.25. Apple's been too weak to really recently to like breakouts, and I'll defer that to Microsoft. But I'm going to be on the bid of this instead of Tesla 700, which is oddly enough right here, right now, if you like it.
Oh man, I should have got out of that Tesla at 720 in the pre-market, like I was saying, out of my own, like my long-term account. I don't like Tesla now, but okay. So, all right. So things not working, obviously, to the long side, but you've just talked about a couple of major cap names there, Apple and Microsoft. Facebook as well is another name that I like. If it can come back into $95, we're sitting there waiting for it. 195, I don't know if that's going to come in or not, but right here, that's where the 50 period is. We can see if that wants to dance a little bit. All right, but what else is happening for us? All right, raw stores coming back in, obviously. We've taken out a lot on this name already. A lot of them have been for $1.50 right into here. It absorbed 72 a couple times. Our best out is right here, 71.60. So we're going to try to hold now for lower, man. And like I said, we missed the reload there somehow, but it's now coming back in, and I just want to make sure I don't get out of too many of these as we go to the downside. So I have a 71 and then a 70 to come out. So, if this wants to fall, great. We'll be here to pick it up on the way down, but we have gotten out of some of ROST here for sure. Again, it's a positive thing. Besides having that tick the high of the day, we reloaded it, and then boom. That's why you wait for these prices. That's 73.50 out 74.50. That's $1. But then we got back in, and now we're taking $1.70, $1.80. So yes, indeed, Raw Stores is a positive stock for us today. So that's going to be a good one there. I'm just, like I said, AMD right now, I'm kind of just like in, I don't know, like, what's the mode where you're just trying to like clean it up? Like, I don't know. Anyways,
I don't know.
And I keep saying licking the wounds, but that's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to get out here.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, do like some collateral damage, I guess, control on this. And if we can get out at like 96.40-ish on some of them, I want to hold in case this move happens, because how pissed off will I get if and when AMD eventually rips up and I don't have anything on? So we'll take a little bit off here because we realize that it's weak. That's AMD.
I'm going to do this myself because I talked about the AMAT guide being poor and then did nothing, absolutely nothing with Intel, and it probably should have been, looking for weakness in that name. And I was sitting there looking at NVIDIA and I forgot to look at Intel, and it rolled right over. It's still below that 43 level. Like, come on, this is the channel. This is nonsense, Neil. Like, this is a price that every day we've been here, I've traded, and that was a short when it's below, and look where it curls. Exactly what we were doing before. But if you look at this 41 bottom from yesterday, if you've missed out on a short trade and you see a support level, the only thing left to be able to do is to try to catch that bid. So I did grab that off the low there. My stop is already in place. Guess what's trying to go? Here comes Microsoft. Like, it's trying to carry this market right now, and you're seeing it here, 258 to that 258.50. We're right in the channel. It's trying to bounce here. I could have taken Tesla 700. Clearly that would have worked. We'll see how taking the low of the day on Intel instead of 700 Tesla, that might not age well. So we'll see what happens. But I'm going to get into Microsoft here. It might be one of those, this channel doesn't hold for very long, but if something's going to go, Softy has been trying to go. I'm going to take some at 50. I'll probably have a little bit at that 58 level as well. Those are the two longs I got because Foot Locker, that came out, just did not have the strength to go. Entirely too weak, so I have to do one of these as well for Foot Locker. I'm still in a piece of Rost. We're going to say Rost a heck of a lot today.
Yeah, it seems like it.
It feels like. But I'm trying to get out in front of that 70 level, and I'm questioning whether I should be doing that at all. So I'm going to back out my bid. I'll allow it to test 70, and if there is no base there, let's see if it can't flush to the low of the day. But I will be watching it the whole way. I don't want this catching a bid on me in the money. It's in the money a couple of dollars here, and it's been pretty clean. But I want to give it some room to work even better than just that, like $4 or $5. Maybe you can get more than that. Brendo?
FDA busy today. TXMD, the latest to get approval here, up 30% on this. Just going to read through this, guys. It looks like a new drug application. So FDA approval on the new drug application for one of theirs, but TXMD moving.
That halt again.
All right. What just happened there? Oh, Facebook. Okay, so we just got. So first of all, we're getting ready to get out here of AMD. So here it goes, right to the downside there. We're lucky, man. We just got some out at 20s, 25s. 50s, as well as we obviously sniffed out that there was some issues there for sure. But there goes Facebook right now. I hate you, SoFi, by the way. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so right now back upside goes Facebook. We did take that long here, absorbing that 196. Let's see, man. It just went in. I mean, we're 70 cents in the money. There it is. Spin it finally for Facebook, man. That was one of the names that we wanted there for that long. We were waiting for 195s. Didn't come in. We said, you know what? We'll just take 196 right there on that. So there it is right there for SoFi. And again, here's a nice little bounce up. Feeling really silly taking these all out. But Facebook, again, now $1, almost $1 now in the money on that. And AMD is really the one that, like, I just feel lucky again to get out some more at 20 there. Now we have a very, very comfortable position on AMD. We obviously have lost on it, but we're long now at 96.50. So hopefully this can float up a little bit there. And let's get another piece out here on Facebook because the market is coming down.
Yeah, it really is. So we just got into two longs after Facebook, after Foot Locker didn't work, and immediately the fail break looks like it's on Microsoft, trying to hold that 257. We didn't mention Upstart, but Upstart is down 6% after just ridiculous the rest of the week here. That's a pretty big fade off. I'm looking at $50, and I should have been looking at $50 earlier, but I am now watching it. If it pops back into 50, you got to have a little bit of a piece of that because the weakness is definitely in the market. Ross now down to 71. These shorts are really working, and guess what just broke 700? Tesla just broke the 700 level. I don't know if anyone got that punch there. I think I'd have heard some people in the back.
I heard like some groaning and stuff. So
yeah, maybe it was just a groaning. I don't think anybody got that 700 break.
Oh, yeah. I just heard it again.
Yeah, I don't think anybody got that 700
I'm hearing
break.
Some groans in the background.
680. 680 on Tesla. 666. I actually just noticed the LeBron James jersey in the back. I mean,
who's that?
I don't think.
Oh my God! Not Sharif again.
Sharif, if you have a Lakers LeBron James jersey, which I see you do, you're going to need a new one next year. That's all I'm saying.
Oh man, yeah. Let's see what
Golden State.
Let's see what team he can destroy this time.
Golden State.
Here we go to the upside. AMD finally starting to go. Things aren't as bad as they once were for your boy right here. The only thing is my throat all of a sudden is getting it again. I had one already. I had one.
I actually didn't mean to slam.
Yeah, Neil, what's up with that?
It was just a
Slamming
hold.
that?
I didn't mean to slam it.
No, it's all good. It's all good. You should be slamming it. We should be slamming the bids here because honestly, SoFi, like. Where's my gates of hell thing? I'm putting SoFi today into the gates of hell for now. I will be seeking said revenge on SoFi. So, bear with me on this one. But we got out at the bottom, just couldn't hold it there. We could have. I mean, I say that all the time. You can't hold things, but I can. But down there, 760. I thought it was going to break. I mean, I guess I should have given it to 750, obviously in hindsight. But there goes SoFi, would be a monster winner right now if we still had it, but we don't. We've already took our hit on that. It's my worst stock today. And my second worst stock today, NEO, basically got out that at 90 there and as low as 80. So again, we use this 90 level right there as our out. And unfortunately, it did hit it and now ticking higher. But what's all good right now up in the hood is a nice little run for AMD. AMD just got us out some there at 67 there. So really lucky that popped back up. So, our net all of a sudden turned around a little bit for us there. So that was really good as that started to head to the north side. And then, of course, our Facebook is making us forget about everything else as we're long at 196 here. And that just touched 190, almost 198. So let's put an offer there in case this market wants to continue to fall down. Let's just take some profit on a Facebook if that happens. Upside 198. That's looking pretty good there as we zoom in for some reason. Facebook hasn't been up here in a bit, so definitely worth taking it out here. It was 2 days ago. I guess that's a bit, but it was hovering around this 200 level. So that's a good take for me here on Facebook. But yeah, let's regroup here on AMD and a few other names. Raw Stores, we got out nicely on that one. But now, without any further ado, over at the big screen, it's Brendan Wickens with Happening Now.
Hey guys, 10 o'clock, so far so good. Here we go, green numbers to show you right across the entire board here. S&P 500, 0.85 to the upside. Russell's small caps pretty strong so far. It is the NASDAQ leading, though, as far as the big ones are concerned. Let's talk about a couple of things we were discussing in the pre-market this morning. Decent report, decent move for this one. PanW, day highs just got taken out there. Yeah, day highs. Good to see a stock going in the right direction after a bit of a slide to start things off. 470 was support on the initial dip. Tesla, however, not so much. We're just about to test some of these levels from early on yesterday around that 690 back below 700. Look at all the red down here in the volume channels here today for Tesla going downside, guys. Back over to you.
Rub it in, why don't you? I'm out of Tesla. I should have held it through that 700 break. I mean, it's easy to say and do, but I did say to 700, so you got to follow your rules here. For all the bulls in IMMX, there's some buying going on in this stock. If you're watching it, you certainly noticed at $2.40. It is just an unlimited buyer at that price. As long as that's happening, I'll tell you, you can sit in the money all at once, but it damn sure ain't going to work if it doesn't break this 240 level. It looks like it has a chance to break that channel to the upside, so do not lose sight of this one. The battle in Microsoft. Looks like the Bears are going to win this one again, man.
Yeah, the Bears are winning everything right now.
Like, Microsoft looked so good for this channel break. And I probably should have, and this is what it looks like on the higher time frame. Like, you gotta, I want to give it room because it's just like, 265, 260 to 265, so much room into the upside. But, we tried it. It does not work out here. Oddly enough, Apple was relatively stronger.
Yeah, we mentioned that earlier.
However, it just put another failure at that 140 level. So that's another long. Well, I don't have the long in this name, and I'm actually going to cancel my dip by bid and maybe a little bit be more cautious with it. Intel, which we tried. At this point, it's just like taking pot shots at longs, and it's like, should have just held every single short that we had, and now I'm only in Rost and IMMX, which isn't going. I tried Intel off the bottom. It got a nice little spike up, tried to retest 42s, and now right back to those lows. Probably going to break as well. So not a lot holding up in this market to the upside, obviously. One that we missed, Coinbase. Right back to 70 a couple of times here. So relative strength in Coinbase. Go figure. That made a wick bottom and now right back up to this 70 level. But if it's a fade day, which right now below that 12,000 mark looks like it could be, I'm watching, volatility. As I look back up, I thought we were kind of running away from that 15 level. I got too many lines on my chart. it's not really breaking out. So still a tight consolidation, which is, I guess, is giving me false hope that you could have another breakdown towards that 15. And if it broke 15, then yeah, the longs would be good. But we're not breaking out of the range. Coinbase, it's got to be a short, I think, to 71. I don't want to be diddling in the middle with anything showing relative strength. If I'm shorting it, it's got to be off that high of the day. So trying to be a little bit cautious with some of these. If you're still watching Veru, this doesn't want to
not loading. I was like, what's that pause all about?
You know what the weird thing about it is? If I typed NY, I would understand why this.
I thought there was like a big dramatic Veru reveal there.
No, Veru, maybe the 15 minutes going to be here. No, it's not. It doesn't. It's just, 1350 on the bottom right now. It's holding support. Anyway, it's holding support. I'm chuckling at it because it was working fine, and then I jinxed it with Brendan this morning saying I had no crashes yesterday. But Veru holding some support down here in front of $13. Volume's still pretty good, but it is dying down. And the other one, Neuro, that I am watching, I missed that one off of the open. I'm still on the offer. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. Clearly, I'm not going to get a pop too short in Neuro, but watch out for this 4 to 420 level from yesterday. That'd be a great base for this one to get a bit of a day two move. Remember, it just popped yesterday. So this is like, it's just starting a breakout of a move. That $4 is above the 50-period moving average. So Neuro, certainly one that could catch a bit of a bid. And of course, this one does want to load.
Yeah, AMD is off to the races to the downside now, 95.50. So our out at 96, I guess, was okay. We did have Apple about 40 cents in the money there. We did short it off this 140. So that's where we're in right now, an Apple short. And it's just like, you know what? We talked about Apple being strong today, and it definitely is. I mean, it's double the market, almost triple the market strength. But at the same time, if the market fails today, Apple's going to fail. It's not like it can resist this move to the downside. So although Apple trades its own beast, Apple controls the NASDAQ and the S&P basically. So let's wait to see what happens. I really want to give this back to 141. So let's see if it takes that out. We did go up as high as 141.70 off the open, but 141's held pretty good. So we'll average into Apple if we're lucky enough to get that opportunity. But I mean, the calls haven't been great here today, as basically we lost on our 3 longs that we liked: AMD, NEO, and SoFi, which SoFi now is kind of retracing back in a little bit here. NEO, we can check on that. Yeah, so some of these names starting to fade off a little bit here. I don't want to go short any of the names because I like them long for reasons, but today now the market's just not participating, Brendo.
All right, Elon never been a microphone he didn't like. In Brazil on a resource finding mission for batteries, has just said this, guys: Tesla will have self-driving cars without the need for people in about a year from now. So worth it.
That's the other thing about Tesla, right, is the automation.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many things about it, and that's why, like, no matter what I say about how unhinged I feel like he's become a little bit here, you know, there's still so much upside to things that haven't even been developed yet.
He's going to win.
That's the thing, like that autonomous driving.
Yeah, he's going to win. It's just, it might get rocky. That's all we're trying to say here. Like, they're light years ahead of everybody else. Like, have you seen what they're able to do with SpaceX? You don't think that technology, like, apply that to where you think they are for automation with cars.
Right.
Right? Like, look at everybody else and what they're, like, look, the automated landings. Like, I sit there and just do a you-know-what every time I see those videos. So anyways, that's just me on Elon. But I just missed a curl. I said I'd wait for 71 on Coinbase, and I'm just watching it do wick off tops through 70 and give you these pullbacks into VWAP. And then when I finally try to get the trade, I completely dead miss it there. As you see, it starts to roll over. And this was the last, I think the last shoe to drop was Apple failing the 140. Now it's come down.
Yep.
Like that was pretty much it. Like this was the one. Like, if the market was going to hold up, it was definitely going to be Apple and Microsoft try to do it. I tried the long and softy. That already lost. And now now Apple doing the same thing. So it's just hold on to the shorts that you got. Look for ones to pop. I just tried to get Coinbase. I was looking at Upstart as well. That was nowhere near that 50 level. So this market looking like it wants to do that whole free fall Friday thing. Maybe, just maybe, Miss V can save them.
Hey guys, so as you know, my work permit expired and this is my last day on Trader TV Live. Though good news, the door is open for a new person, more opportunities. So guys, if you want to work in a wonderful environment, in the real professional studio, on the real trading floor, surrounded by wonderful people, professional traders, send us an email at marketing@tradertv.live. Again, this job I could only dream about. It's more than a job. It's lifestyle. So team, shoot your chances, send us an email, and we would love to see new face, new person that can bring something new to Trader TV Live community and the show.
Yeah, and for all that apply, no pressure. No pressure. No, a lot of pressure.
We're gonna have, I mean, I don't even want to replace that. I want to keep that one on there.
Yeah, that's not
the Superman with Miss V there. So, yeah. So, anyways, all right. There goes Apple, man. I mean, we can ring the register on that, but we also got hit on Lucid. Lucid was okay because we're able to get out of there, but then obviously averaged in there 1920, giving us that 1890 there. So our average price was about 19 or so, 1910 or 1908 or whatever it was, and then we just dropped it off there at 75. So about a 30 cent hit there on Lucid to the downside. So damn it, that's not good news there. Raw still short. We still are in this Facebook long, but it's not a huge position for this. I'm trying to just hold this one because I want this name long. So I'm trying to see if it capitulates down there to the bottom, but there's really been no extensive volume on this Facebook move to the downside, as you can see. The buys are way bigger than the sells here on Facebook. So I'm just kind of waiting to see maybe a potential market turn here to see what we can get. But there goes Apple, man. I mean, we just got a 138.60 bid. Like, we're short at 139.90 right now. So, I mean, that was a good move there for Apple. We talked about it today that we didn't like this name, and we were still trying to go short if the market was short, but we were very cautious of a 140 break, and it broke it a bunch of times and then just rejected it. So this one was pretty easy. Like I said, sitting there waiting and getting run over by a SoFi, getting run over by a Neo here, and then getting run over by a Lucid kind of goes against the trading that I've been doing lately. We've been waiting for moves and then reacting. So today I'm red, and I don't like it. So we're going to see what we could do here, but we got to find some more shorts here, Brendo.
Oh, goodness.
iMac, guys, popped up yesterday a couple of times on pretty heavy volume. Just saw back to day highs here. Not a huge mover so far, but remember, we did have a nice pop on this yesterday a couple of times back to this very area for IMAC.
And remember 680 on Tesla? Well, life comes at you fast.
Don't even say that.
Neil
What the
didn't hold
hell
his
am I
short.
doing?
Every day, every time I trade this stupid thing, it's like my chart looks exactly the same. It's like I'll have the short, and then I won't hold on to it, and then it'll get to that price where it's like, oh yeah, 680 is the support level, and then I'm just long in front of the support level. And it looks like, I wish I could say that was me holding it all the way. You guys all know that's absolutely not true. So if it holds 680, great. We got a bounce play. I don't think it's going to be a home run. As a matter of fact, I've already scalped some in front of 685, and we'll probably put some out around 688 something. As well. So Tesla trying to catch that bounce. Once you, like I said it time and time again, like once you've missed out, you just got to make the next trade. It might not be the trade you wanted, but it's the trade you got. Lucid, I'm still on that. I actually realized I didn't cancel my bid on Lucid in front of 1850, so that was that breakout channel that it had. So I got the long at 1870 in front of that level. If it takes it out by like 5 or 6 cents or so, I'll just have to get out. I'm not going to average into it because I don't feel like that makes any sense. It either bounces here and can catch a bid in front of 50s or it can't. So yeah, from short to now defending levels is what this market is doing to us, guys. So it is what it is. Still working for today, but it obviously, like, you know, I'm going to sit here and was in shorts pretty much across the board, and I'm just asking myself, why did I give them up for like the smaller end of the profit instead of just holding them a lot longer? But it is what it is. Like, this market is coming down. I keep watching UVXY, and I think it's that we weren't really breaking out, and I keep using that as the indicator. It's like, yeah, but we're not going. Why isn't volatility rising? Got to take profit on the shorts, and I think that I let that override some of the levels and just saying, and the direction of the trade overall. So bit of a mistake there. And now UVXY is breaking out. So there's almost no way Tesla's going to hold with that happening.
Yeah, okay, so we did get out. I said, oh no, but we didn't get in. I thought we got into some more Facebooks there, but we didn't. Facebook shares there. Meta, actually, what am I talking about? I want to buy this name, so maybe we'll just buy, but then as soon as I say that, it just comes back down in. Okay, so, 194.75 or so on this name. And again, I called this, I call like when this market was up 1.5%, I said this feels like a fade out Friday. And then we were talking about Dapper Brendan over there and everything like that. So, I'm honestly thinking that was going to be the right call, but we just almost went red there. So let's see if we can hold up a little bit. We touched 12,000 and faded on the NASDAQ, but there it is. There's the other push lower right now. Like today's trade, like we're holding Apple. We got the right name short for sure. And I feel like we had some nice names long. We had Ross, which was a great stock. But, we lost on our SoFi, we lost on our Neo, and we lost on our Lucid. So I do want to try to get back into some of these names. But for me, Facebook right here against this, I'm just kind of trying to use something in the middle here. Like, I don't really want to get involved in all of this, but now I have to. And I don't want to give this down to 193. Like, I don't want to make this day even worse. So we're going to watch out for a 194.50 or so break. Now we're at 195, so we're still a little ways away. But if we can come back in to that 194.50 area, that would be a good out possibly. 195 has been holding, so if 195 comes down, that last move down on the NASDAQ gave us 195.20s. So let's put a bid a little lower than that, and then I'm just going to use something in the middle here. I know this looks crazy, but Facebook rate there is 194.50. So if we take that out, then I think we got to get away from it. So we're going to wait. Bid some 195 lows here on Facebook, see if we get a gift, and then the gift will turn sour if and when we see that 194.50 bid. But hey, I got to do something. Apple, I don't have to, but Apple we're already $1.50 short. So
there goes Tesla 680. So like I said, when VIX spiked, I'm like, this isn't going to go. So I thankfully got out. I said, why am I even waiting for it to break and just give up an extra $1? I just got out of it. I told you this one, Brendan. I told you that Sega, the monkeypox thing could be a thing today, and it's up 10% and making another run. This one, remember yesterday, this one fell apart at $10, and then again it's $9.75. If you haven't heard the monkeypox story, a couple of outbreaks, a couple of cases in the UK, I do believe. This and a couple of other biopharmas spiked on that news yesterday. Now it's making a bit of a run, so shout out to the people in the chat that mentioned it. $10 is the big level, both on the 15 and, of course, on the daily. This is why we're shorting at that price in the pre-market yesterday, so watch out for that. Watch out for 666 on Tesla. Don't read anything into it. It's just been a level previously. That's why I'm going to be paying attention to it. Ross just made another test. It's not going to look like much because of the gap fill, so when you zoom in, another test above VWAP, but it's still putting in lower highs. That's why I'm holding out hope that we're still going to get like a test of that 70 level and a possible break. Market falling like this, I'm surprised it's actually holding up the way that it is. Somehow, both Intel and Lucid have managed to hold these lows. 1850 for Lucid, 58 is the current low. Intel has been holding this low at about 4170. I missed a short. The longs for now are working, but who knows if they can resist this market. We just bounced at 11.9 on the NASDAQ, but the trend is clearly in the other direction at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we can dance a little bit here with Lucid if we can try it here to go long. So we'll take another long there. It has based out. I do like that call, the 1858 there. We'll see if that can hold. We did get another piece out. I thought, no, we didn't. I thought I got a piece out of Apple there at 138.90. We're sitting there now. Hopefully we can get that. What am I bidding? Oh, I'm bidding 89s. There he goes. We just got it out. So there it is right there. Another piece out as it's starting to go back to the upside. We only have 40% of this trade left. So far, so good on that move downside, but we are taking a little bit out in here as the NASDAQ is trying to get off that bottom there. Made some bottom wicks on the NASDAQ, so we're going to have to watch out for that one. Starting to go back up, but again, we still have this Apple short. And I don't have any other bids out there, so hey, maybe this gets a little nasty to the downside. We are still waiting for this upside move. I don't think that's going to happen. We can cancel that. Our Facebook is working out nicely, though. Actually, you know what? We can take a piece out now on Facebook. Facebook, there it is. Just took out VWAP right there. So we will take a piece out on Facebook. That's 80 cents in the money now. So that was a good little reload down there at that bottom. We're waiting for 197 or so on Facebook. So if that can come back up, we'll get out a little bit more on that name. The Lucid, we just put it on, and that's instantly 6 cents out of the money. And I'm sick to my stomach. I'm glad that you traded Tesla and positively, but like when it was up here at 7:30 this morning and I went on my little rant about Elon and I was like, I think I got to get out of this name. Like I've just cost myself now like 5% because it was up and now you're down. So yeah, that really sucks there. So, you know, sometimes we get a little bit of a benefit to get out like midday after the show, but I really don't like my position here on Tesla. I don't like any longs really right now for that. I might actually even buy some puts on this name. I do not trust it. And now that I'm saying that, that means go long on Tesla probably. But what's up now, Brendo?
All right, one that shout out to Danielle Shea. She was on the show talking about Petco yesterday afternoon. Nice flush to the downside after she was mentioning the earnings aftermarket yesterday, guys. Not good for Woof.
Oh, yes. Like, look, there's so many names that we could talk about. I guess it's easy to get wrapped up and miss out on things, but there's no excuse for missing out on NVIDIA because 165, life comes at you quick. Yesterday's bottoms, you don't think these are going to happen, and then in this market, it says, hold my beer. I mean, look at the symmetry. Yesterday's high, 177, pre-market highs. Yesterday's bottom coming in right now on NVIDIA. So if you can guess what I'm going to say next, it is, if it's a trap,
it's a trap.
Time to spring the trap.
Where's your trap? Where's your trap thing?
I'm not on that page. I'm sorry. But spring the trap is a different one. What do you do? That's from Obi-Wan. Anyways, Obi-Wan Kenobi's coming out. I think it's just, is it 27th?
It's soon. I saw the ad
just a
for it.
week, right? So that's one thing. Only one thing left to do is to spring the trap when it's there. So that's the line. 165 is the bottom on NVIDIA. And when you miss out on the shorts and don't hold on to them long enough, well, you're left with defending some levels to the bottom. But one thing I like here is, A, the NASDAQ caught a bid at 11.9. Tesla caught a bid at 168. And that had been driving things to the downside. That's not really a short. I was just using a different stop. That was me covering the long. But it's got a wick off bottom at that 168. So looking to see if some of these names can try to bounce here. Obviously, relatively tight stops. Remember I said that IMMX had like a forever buyer at 245?
Forever buyer.
Yeah, it definitely did. I got to adjust that stop order. Cancel that.
We like forever buyers.
Yeah, it's now through the high of the day. And you know what?
Long, you like
what am I doing?
Buyers.
I should not be fighting. I should be trying.
You should be fighting.
That was me. Did I get it? Okay, there we go. I wasn't going to rage, but you saw me like hit the key like 3 times there to get out of the long. Sorry, get out of the short and work into the long. Yeah, forever buyer at 245. Room to run on this thing. If you look at it on the daily chart, what do you see above 280? I don't know. I see $3 psychological. I see $3.35. I see $3.50. So this one's got room to run, and it's got support at $2.45. So IMMX, another long, I suppose. If you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with doing that, mate. I mean, you got to look at these different stocks, and sometimes we flip our opinions on them, go one way, go the other way, whatever. So we are day traders, so remember that. We can flip in and out very, very fast. Our software definitely enables us to do that. So I was just like, oh my God, here goes the market to the downside again right now. We were like, now we're going to put another offer on Facebook. Like, it was right here, and it was not breaking, and I'm like, you know what? I got to get another offer, and I didn't do it. And then now, look at this. It's an absolutely disaster day here for the market. That's what I'm saying. I called this move. Like, I called this move. This is what I'm saying. Why am I not just trading the stupid futures? Like, I called this move in the pre-market, like that we were going to go red today. And I mean, there it is. Like, we're ticking red soon. So whatever. But you know what? We don't. Everything is not nasty there. We'll slap up for a couple longs we had earlier, but no, man. We seek revenge and we get it. We talk about a revenge as a dish best served cold. Well, here it is, man. On Apple. So Apple just takes it all the way down. I'm gonna put another bid down here. Like, honestly, Tesla, I can't. I'm like sick to myself that I didn't buy puts or something on that stupid stock earlier, but whatever. Here comes Apple. We'll just take this out for $1.70 right now. We'll do a little dance off for the Apple trade, but honestly, there it is right there. Look at this short, 140, ding, 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 ding. So, you know, the day got a lot better since we took that short, and we really haven't averaged in or done anything on the long side since we took this short, so it's been okay. We do have Facebook. That's a little baby position. And then I lie. The only other position that we took long right now was Lucid off of 1850. So you break down through 1850, we can get out of Lucid. But right now, it is downside action here on a lot of these names, man. We're baby into Lucid, but I think we can get a little bit more against that 1850. But this market is coming down in a hurry, not rewarding any of these companies here today, especially names that aren't making any money. So yeah, Microsoft, I think Microsoft's still positive. Apple's teetering here.
It's close.
Yeah, is Apple, wait a minute, what's Apple right now? I just said it was teetering. Still 0.67. Microsoft, I think, is higher than that. Yeah, 0.87. So there's still some leadership in this market that could raise it higher. So we'll hold on to a little bit here and see if we can't get some more money out of these names, including a move back upside. You know what? I'm going to wait for that level. I'm not going to panic here. I'm going to wait for that level, 196.80 or so for Facebook. 196.50 seems a little bit better. Let's wait for that. But wow, disaster day here today for the longs, but it's getting better. Let's go over to Brendan for small cap recap.
Hey guys, yeah, busy morning. Let's jump into a few small caps moving around. I was saying in the pre-market a little bit quiet, but volume came in a big way at the open. SIGA, Neil was mentioning, this is a great trade yesterday off of this 970 up to about 980 level. That was big time resistance. So a heads up, we're back into this area from yesterday. So I'm going to fade this off of that yesterday, or resistance from yesterday. IMMX, I mean, it was in a 20-cent range all morning long until we get this move finally up to 280. I was long initially, flipped on the short side now at that 280. We'll see what happens with IMMX, NURO, the other one. Lots of congestion in this area in the pre-market. This was obviously weak. All pre-market long, as soon as the market opened, just continued to the downside. So a nice opportunity on Neuro as well today, guys. Back over to you.
Thank you very much there, Brendan. And just watching that SIGA, I was looking for $10 just to keep you guys abreast of what's going on here. I was looking for $10 to put a wick off top here to 975. It's an off chance that that's too obvious of a level. If it does fail back here, I might try it off 75 and then try again at 10. Oh, come on, Lucid. Like, actually make this bounce, please. Just got back up to 870. On the way to VWAP, I'm going to be bailing on this thing. I'll be happy that it even makes that kind of a move in this market today. NVIDIA is trying to make its bounce off that 165 level. So, you know, I'm going to look to see if we can't get like 167.5, 168. Holding on for the home run on some of these longs. I don't know if that's the way to go. So
neither do I.
You know, I'm going to go. I'm just going to take the. I'll take the dub. I'll take the dub if it's going to give me that on these long trades. And then I heard someone in the chat.
There's Facebook.
Someone in the chat said IMMX is being pushed by another YouTuber. If that's true, I almost don't want to be long.
There are no other YouTubers.
No, but I almost don't want to be long. I just gotten more shares this thing. I actually don't like being long in that case because usually the rug gets pulled and I don't want to get caught in it. So I'm tightening up my stop. This is no longer a hold to 245, man. Forget that. I'm tightening up the stop right back to what was this resistance at 265. I'm tightening the stop by 20 pennies because I want no part of it if that's the case. Usually it means rug pull. And if there's any truth to that, I'm already taking a top break and chasing it. I hate chasing those moves. Usually doesn't end well.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to... What I can say about YouTubers and pumping stocks and stuff like that is like that's the complete opposite of what we do. So don't be surprised if we don't go over there and let you guys, you know, sell into us. We don't do that. There's other people out there. Some of you on the chat have already said that. And there's also investigations into said people as well. So you guys can look all that stuff up without saying any names. Some of you are already on that on the chat. Okay, right now, you know, we're still in the same positions. Obviously, we held out for that trade, so we'll go balling for that as the Celtics handed the Heat, sorry, Playmaker, handed the Heat a devastating victory yesterday. Marcus Smart comes back, and that's good. All she wrote for Miami. So we'll wait to see. Now you got to go back to Boston. Tied 1-1. They lost home court there. So we're going to wait to see what happens now in that series. It's getting really spicy, man. And Unfortunately, I think Dallas and Luka can do all those little looks that he wants. It's not going to matter in that series, I don't think. It's a little different when you're talking to Devin Booker than talking to Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond and all those guys. So yeah, let's wait to see. I still like Luka. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Just saying it's a little different beast. The Warriors versus Memphis and. No, they didn't deal with Memphis. It was, I just talked about it, Phoenix there. So, okay, nice moves there. There's Facebook, man. We got that trade that we wanted there at 50. I'm actually making sure that, I still have the 196.80. We don't want that one. So we were waiting for that. Nice couple of trades here on Facebook to the upside. That's starting to work. And we do only have 20% left of our Apple short. That's our best out there, 138.25 or so on the bottom. So that's good. We're making back a decent amount of money now. So everything seems to be okay. The one thing that's not doing anything. Are you still in Ross?
I still got the last piece
I don't know,
but it's not invalidated, man. Like
no,
it's
a positive stock for us today.
The short, look, it failed to break 75. It got back below 73. Sure, it's barcoding now, but that's still it's still in the channel. Like the short still works in that one as far as I'm concerned. Now I said I would just take the profit and run, and I'm doing that. We'll hit this key because Nvidia is pretty weak, and if this is the bottom, fair enough. I'll take my dollar and run, or maybe a little bit more, just a little bit more than that. Lucid, I did get a couple of legs out as well there. If it gets to 19, maybe we'll have a small piece of it, but that's pretty much it. Again, the market's been relatively weak. It is worth noting, like we've held some pretty significant levels. Like if you look at Tesla here, that 680 has now really held. And this is the difference between like you catch that on the way down in front as opposed to getting it on a consolidation. It's all the difference in the world. Like the level of, I'm just confident in this level. If you get it after the fact and it's already put a wick bottom, then maybe I'd be holding on to it instead of quickly scalping it out like we did there on Tesla. So anyways, got Lucid and Intel instead. That's what's left. Brendo?
Deere, we talked about briefly, guys, in the pre-market off of earnings, trying to hold long-term support here. Multi-month levels coming into play for DE, but a bid, finally, that is the wrong chart, but a bid, finally, trust me, on DE as well.
This is a good company.
Yeah, so we could possibly be a problem here because the NASDAQ's trying to go to 12,000. We just punched our ticket long here with PYPL. So let's see if this can be a pal of mine today. PayPal trying to go up to the upside here. I don't want to give this one too much love for the upside. It's been obviously a beatdown name, but it's positive today, nicely positive today. So let's see if it can hold this like 81.80, kind of where we got started here, 81.60 or so on this move. I don't want to deal with it all the way down here. If the market fails again, man, we've already taken some lumps on some of these shorts, or sorry, some of the longs. PayPal's not going to be another one. So, we'll test it here. We'll see if the market wants to keep going to the upside. Hopefully it does for our sake. And then we can cash in on this PayPal. I don't want to be in this one for a long time, but if we can get this up to here like 82.70 and then try to test some of those 83s, then that would be pretty sweet for me. So we're trying to battle back here and not add to the destruction today. So we'll see if PayPal wants to get going. If not, man, that's fine by me. We're going to give it back down here like an 81. Oh, there it goes, just filled out. Like an 81.70 or so on that one. That's going to be PayPal back to the downside, 81.70. But we're going to test along here. Oh, darn it. See, the NASDAQ just did that movement. It just failed. We thought if it could continue, and this is part of trading, if it could continue, then we had a shot. But no, it's not. So now it's come back in. We have our out. So let's see if it triggers us at all here on another one that we went long that might not work here, PYPL.
Yeah, and we'll be at least a little bit happy with the spike in Lucid, but just like just like Nvidia, it's like take the profit and run, man. Don't look the gift horse in the mouth. It's close enough to that 19 VWAP. We took another leg out. It's trying to bounce, and guess what is bouncing? Rost. Now it's making that other run. Look, if it gets back, you can probably tell what we're going to do. I'm not going to take any more shares until it retests up at 74. That's where I want the curl. If it doesn't get there, I don't take the trade. I'm not going to chase this one too far away from the price that we like. Brendo?
Big spike for Netflix here. Not seeing anything yet on this, but a heads up, heavy volume coming in as well for NFLX. Took out that pre-market high straight through to 190.
Netflix 170 something. That was like one of the better bottom picks for me so far. We've been picking up some CRM. That hasn't been great either. And then I stopped buying Shopify a while ago. That's to the downside. So we're not averaging into anything anymore. We did buy Apple yesterday at 138.20 or so. And then that's obviously just, oops, that's Facebook. I wish that was Apple. But here's Apple right now, still at the same price, man. 138.60 starting to go down. We just got a piece out of Apple there on that, on this break, but now it's starting to come back down. We only have 10% left. There's 9 outs here, so we're going to wait now to see what happens. We wanted to hold Apple as much as we can, and we did a great job of that because as it was falling, we only got out of 30%, and then the majority, obviously, you could see here around 138.50. So far, so good on that one. But right now, not all my attention, but the biggest trade that I have on right now is a brand new one, and it's the PayPal long. I thought it was going to take out that VWAP. It didn't. That's where we punched long. Unfortunately, it's fading out right now. It's going to go with the market. So if we think the market's going to rip, I'm pretty sure I have a good name here. So let's watch PayPal. I could take a little bit out and then see if it takes out VWAP at 34, but here it goes. A nice little move back up to the upside. And it's Brendan again. What up, bud?
All right, still trying to find something on Netflix here, guys, but it's worth noting Roku, Kathy Wood's #1 weighted holding, did pop up there on that same move on a decent volume spike, so heads up. Some of the streamers starting to go, including ROKU. All right, if you're just joining, it is a bittersweet day around here. Miss V will be leaving us, sadly, at the end of the show today. So end of day today at 4 p.m. So make sure you're here this afternoon. Make sure you're here right now because Miss V is going to have a look at Europe for the final time.
Well, guys, don't know what you're going to do without my European updates. Anyways, Brendan, European markets are positive for the second straight session. Earnings season remain in focus with luxury goods company Richemont down more than 13% after they post their full year results.
Back to the downside we go, as we've been saying. Hey, we're still positive on a Friday, guys.
I know, but I'm now starting to think about it. It's like, on Miss V's last day,
yeah,
short Tesla was probably the easiest thing to do because no one can hold her stock when on a day like today. Yeah, obviously it's now back. It's bouncing a little bit here off of 680, but I was about to talk about Roku when you brought it up there. It was weird. I just brought up the chart. Little interesting on this Roku chart. Forget about the Kathy Wood largest holding nonsense. That doesn't make any sense.
I still think Tesla's their largest holding across of all.
No, I know, because it's in all of them, but I think just in the main one, yeah. Just in the main one, it just ticked above Roku today. I don't know if that's still true. But 96 to 99 over and over again with an exactly 100 top. And if you look at what this stock has been doing, like look at it. It's just been barcoding all week long. It's going to be hard for me not to try to short 99s when I see that. So if it gets back up here, I'll try to get a piece of it if it does go, but obviously it missed out on it to this point, I should say. Good thing we got out of some Lucid. That looks like it wants to try to pull back, not even get into VWAP. And I said I'd wait for Rost. It's getting darn close to that 74 area for reload on that short opportunity there. And I talked about Coin being another one on a pop that we wanted to try to grab. This is me. Once again, and I should have just punched in and then sort of maybe talked about it after, but yeah, this is that 70 area. Now it's right back at those lows. I'm kind of hoping for the same thing in Roku. Like if you've just been shorting the tops on almost every single one of these names, it's been absolute gold. So getting those reloads, you got to get in there while you can because this market's looking weak and it might have been the right call to get out of said IMMX because yeah, guess what's happening? I was going to give it all the way to 245, but you know what? I'm not going to chase something that's just one of those pump plays. And as a matter of fact, that break looks like a wick top to me. So if it can hold 235, there's some buyers down in there, but maybe they were buying for that secondary move to happen. Might have gotten the heck out of Dodge just in time for that. And there's definitely a lot of names that are where the shorts are in control. I'm not sure that's true of this one just yet, but it's not that far away from it.
All right, great. Yeah, so just an update here. We noticed that PayPal was obviously struggling there. So we did take a piece out right where we got in right there. And then we took another piece out at 82. So I'm still holding this, but I'm going to try to give it to this 81.50 or so area just to see about that. It's right there, 81.50. And I like playing off 50s. So again, we're down on it, obviously. And again, it's these longs. They're just, we thought we had a chance to get going back there after basically going zeros on the day. So back to flat, then got going. I thought we did have a chance to make it back to 12,000. That didn't happen. So right now, we are sitting here with this long in PayPal, waiting to see where we go from there. Here, 81.50 is going to be my target to get out. If that breaks, then obviously the NASDAQ is most likely continuing its decline back in. So I liked PayPal. Remember, it was stronger. It was 1.1 or 2% or so to the upside, much stronger than the NASDAQ. So if it broke, I think I'm still happy with it. So I can't be mad on a decision. That's fine. This is not one of those trades that, I was sitting there getting run over. I aggressively lifted the orders off, took the bids out and whatnot, took the asks out, and went long right there. So I'm going to stick with that and wait to see where it goes. We did do a good job, though, of our Lucid. We reloaded this name, so that stock's not nearly as bad as it once was. That went all the way back up. So unlike, we actually did the opposite on Lucid that we did on PayPal there. This came up to the 50 period, and we just started to get some out. We've been watching Tesla. We've been watching Rivian. It hasn't been a good day for the EV names. Obviously, NIO as well. I don't know if that's back. Of course, it's back a little bit now, but, still was up 7%, now only up 3%. So, a lot of these names have faded out today. NIO, wow, that was a good bottom there, man. Maybe we'll have to see about that 1680 one more time if it does visit there, which I hope it doesn't, but that's a play for me there as well. And then other than that, we're just looking around now. I mean, Palantir's down to $8. Clover is almost at 3. We can check SoFi again now. I'm not in that name, and that was a mistake getting out there because it ripped back up, but we're still right back to where we were again, down in the low 760 area. So watch out for SoFi breaking lower. I don't like that because obviously the NASDAQ's coming in here. Oil's still up on the day, 0.3, so that's something to look at as well for oil. Square not working out. JP Morgan, the banks are holding out okay. XOM near 52-week highs again. Wow. Energy continues to work. That's been the saving grace for me, man, that XLE trade. But there it is, XOM, 92.90 is its 52-week high, and we're very, very close to that. What up, Bren?
Neil, you were mentioning this SIGA on that monkeypox story. Apparently, there's a few more now. In fact, several regions reporting cases of this monkeypox. The last I heard was actually in Dutch hospitals. So a few Dutch hospitals apparently reporting this as well. So anyways, SIGA just made a big move on that story there.
People going monkeypox crazy.
I may or may not have wanted to have that on the watch list just so we could hear Brendan say monkeypox a few times. No, but in all seriousness, I talked about the 975 there. I had just tried it for the first time, and the second I was in, and I'm talking literally the second, it stopped out to 975, and then it went to the 10 level, which was the bigger level, obviously. If it clears through and holds above 10, a few shekels above as usual, then I'll just get out of it. But that's the real level to play off of. And on the higher time frame, you can see this is 10 on the daily chart. You can see yesterday 10 was an absolute golden short. Probably it was probably the best move yesterday for the small cap ones if you're fading a level. If it breaks out from here, it's got tons of room to run. So this is sort of like that line in the sand there. And I'm not ignoring that. I know I meant to get to this iMac, but unfortunately I didn't. This is a breakout that's starting to go, Dominic. I know you've mentioned this one a couple of times, and Brennan mentioned it as well. The volume, however, for a dollar stock, it's not overly impressive. At 5 million shares, I think, and starting to die down on this break. So it's not at the top of my radar, given the somewhat lack of volume that I'm seeing in it. SIGA, certainly a heck of a lot more volume to it. That's why I prefer it for a trade myself. Brendan, again? Oh, sorry. What the?
Yeah, you jumped the gun on that one.
Oh, my bad.
Okay, we'll wait for them to call for Brendan, but that's why that was a good call there. Okay, we're ready for Brendan. What's up?
Yeah, just going to talk about Best Buy quickly, guys. There was some volume that came in there at 72 at the bottom. So Best Buy, remember, pre-market Monday earnings.
What stock was that?
Best Buy.
BBY.
Oh, Best Buy. Okay, yeah, that's why. I mean, it was downgraded today. Someone got ahead of that one, so we're going to watch out for that downgrade coming through. Best Buy, not great there. Raw Stores. I mean, just to check back, man, it's really still not doing anything. We've had a good short on this today. It's a positive stock for me, so that's positive at least. Facebook's been a good one for us as well. Apple's been fantastic on the short side and still trying to tick down to day's low right now as the NASDAQ not. This is the funny thing. The NASDAQ not at day's low. I mean, NASDAQ's close enough. It's probably going to get there in a minute, but Apple is still really weak, man. It started to go this morning, so I feel like that move down was bought like crazy, and then it tried to get going. A bunch of these wicks tried to get going through 140. Once we realized that it failed and it started to tick down here in the S&P, then that's when we initiated that short for Apple, and it's been a killer for me. My number one stock here, AAPL today, as that just continues its move to the downside as well. So yeah, other than that, man, It's PayPal. We're watching out for that. We'll see where it goes here. It keeps on ticking lower, lower. Hopefully it can explode to the upside. PayPal's on my mind right now. But we do have with Brendan at the big screen, which doesn't look that bad right here, and it's the sector watch. So let's see what sectors are moving in the right direction.
Hey guys, yeah, let's have a look at the overall market here. 2 days or 3 days in a row, I should say, we're fading on this board. So all of the green that we had in here, slowly fading back to red once again. This is the consumer discretionary group to start, obviously. Jumping off the page is ROST, leading the way for retailers today, 22% to the downside. DLTR 3 days in a row as well, just getting killed. Once again today, 6% for Dollar Tree there. There's Dollar General, 6+%. Lowe's is here as well. Best Buy, 1.9%. As I mentioned, a little bit of buy volume coming into Best Buy at 72 there. I want to mention these pharmaceutical names a little bit stronger than the rest right now. Eli Lilly, Pfizer, 3.25%, 3.3% to the upside. Deere, 11% to the downside for Deere today. It's been a while since you'll see a move that large for Deere to the downside. Boeing, 3% as well, back in negative territory along with Caterpillar. This is the energy group, and then communication stocks over on the far side there. There was a positive ruling for Match on the Google App Store, so they're going to allow them to use multiple payment options for Match. So MTCH up about 4%. Material stocks were strong to start, but a lot of the individual resource names fading out now. So we're seeing that group move back towards negative territory. I keep saying it, we're still positive on the day, but it is fading away slowly here, guys. 0.27 now for the S&P.
Well, maybe if you just keep on saying it, Brendan, it'll actually happen. It's like with the, I don't even, whatever the name of that nonsense book was, like if you just wish things to happen, they'll happen for you, good things. Yeah, because that's how the world works. Deere, on the, yeah, you don't see day, oh dear. You don't see days like this very often, except every day this week for a major name, I suppose. But look at the daily chart, and look, I know resistance matters more than support when you're talking about a bear market, which we're kind of in, obviously. But look at 320 on John Deere. Like if it gets to that price, and there's any kind of a bid there, yeah, you got. I mean, am I going to be on it? Sure, I'll take a shot at it. I just wanted to make sure there's an actual level when it gets there. I did get out of Intel. So that one didn't really work. I got a scalp trade out, and then it took out that bottom. Maybe it's a wick bottom, but that's part of the game. So, you know, a couple of those bottom picks, Intel did not work. You saw that one take the hit. Tesla, I got out of it before it could get ugly, so took a small win on that one. Lucid's still working, and I got the heck out of Dodge on NVIDIA. Maybe too early. That Sega, I just typed in sign. That Sega took out that $10 level, so it's kind of gonzo. So I guess we're going to be saying monkeypox a little bit here because this is off to the races, uncharted territory here for SIGA and Ross. It's still threatening that 74, but it's not there. And until it gets there, until it gets a little bit higher, right into that top, you're not going to see me jump the gun on ROST. Brendan?
All right, another one, GOVX. This is also, I mean, we're going to have to make a monkeypox group now. Are you kidding me? GOVX popping on this as well. Just broke $1.
All right.
Ooh, $1, you say?
GOV. I mean, a lot of these names are going to start popping.
How much does it cost? Sorry.
We actually failed again here as PayPal fails to go up. So we were able to get something out there at 82.05, I think, or 6 or whatever that was, on an upside move there for the futures and for PayPal. So this doesn't look like it's going to work out. We do have our downside pressure there coming on this day, but it's kind of just resisting this. So, I mean, here it goes, it's going to break it right now. But this 81.80 basically is held there on PayPal, but looks like it wants to break again. So, yuck, that sucks right now. The strategies today, obviously buying the dips didn't work, you know, and it's crazy because we thought it was going to be a red day eventually, and here I am buying the dips. But you know what? I just looked at my broker statement here, and I've had 8 straight positive days. So I'm feeling better about myself right now because we're just losing the average that we basically made on those 8 straight days. And then we've had 2 negative days this month. So far, so good here. It looks like we'll be adding to that negativity today. Hopefully not. But yeah, so far today, some of those strategies didn't work. But the reason why I bring that up and is not to say that we've only had 2 negative days. It's just sometimes, you know, the market changes on you and some of your ideas get flipped around. The important thing is that when you're having a negative day, your negative day is not infinitely worse than the days that you're positive. So like if you've making $1,000 on average over those 8 straight positive or 7 straight positive days I've had, and today you're down $1,000, well then, hey, that's the kind of ratio that you're looking for, and that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about here. But let's go over to Brendo quickly.
Quick correction. Well said. Quick correction. I mentioned BBY Monday morning. It's Tuesday, guys, the 24th pre-market for Best Buy.
I guess that makes a little bit more sense because I think you don't usually have a lot of big earnings Monday morning. It usually it's a little bit later on so people can digest. You mentioned that GOVX, and of course it broke that magical $1 number. It's not magical, it's psychological more than anything else. It got up to 110. It's now pulled back below, so it's trying to make that little consolidation play. On the back of the other thing I have to watch is SIGA, right? So SIGA just popped back up here. So if it gets back above this dollar range and SIGA takes out like 11, then I don't want to be giving it to that 110 high. So I actually ended up getting into about 10% of what I would take because SIGA is still strong. But if we can consolidate off of this here, then I want to work a price around $1 even, very similar to what we would usually do. But my initial entry was at 98 cents. So, oh my goodness, the market coming right back in.
Yeah, the market's Deadsville here.
Tesla right back to that 680 level. It's just like, this is how it's going to be. I keep not wanting to jump back into more shares of that Rost. I want it to settle down, and it just won't even give you that test. It won't even come close to that 74. Oh. Like 73.7 is like the best price you're able to get here, and it's real tempting to just jump in for a little bit for the reload on Rost, which is showing some signs of strength. But remember, it's down 21% already.
Yeah, sure is. We actually got out of some of the Ross there at 73. So we're going to wait. I mean, we just took more profit on it. We're going to wait for the downside move, obviously, on this now as the market's breaking lower. So if anything, yeah, it might have been a good reload short into that move. But we'll just take some out. And unfortunately, we'll go downside there. And thanks for the comments, guys, on the chat. Yeah, look, I'm happy with the month. I'm not happy with today, obviously, as this has been my even a better month than I think I'm actually up more this month than I was both combined in March and April. So May has been a fantastic month. So let's not worry about anything. We are completely fine, and hope you guys are as well today. It's just some of those dip buys didn't work, right? I mean, AMD, it was fine. It didn't work. Actually, AMD's not even really that bad. Neo faded out for us early. We thought that was going to try to hold 17. That didn't work right now. I don't know. People are excited behind us. I don't know about what.
It's SIGA.
Oh, SIGA's still going?
Follow the SIGA.
Why am I not just on that name? That's ridiculous for that one. I'm sure the long would have been just great all day there on SIGA, guys.
Yeah, it's going absolutely
I mean, you got to take that 10 break. Like, I just kept ignoring it because I was doing all my other stuff. That 10 break was, God damn it, you got to have that.
I mean, but that being said, I can show you like a bunch of small caps that have had the same double top and not work. So this one does have the right catalyst. Like it's a brand new event, kind of like a day 2 for it. So next week, I promise you, we'll still be talking about this, almost guaranteed. Thank you guys for getting. I just saw this 2,000 flash cross. Thank you guys for getting us to that. So 2,000 likes. Hey, we like it. It's bittersweet today, any celebrations we have, because it is Miss V's last day. Well, but thank you guys for showing the support on a very important day. Give all the love to Miss V here today, and follow the SIGA.
I guess so, man. I mean, that's what I was saying. That 10 break, guys, like when there's news like that, it's just my bad. Here comes right back down in. I mean, there's tons of volume. Who knows where this thing's going to go? The volume's actually not even that great. Like normally names like this will be well north of 15 million. Obviously, it's just really starting to go here on the daily chart. And yeah, it's going to be impossible to look at this and try to analyze what's going to happen next. For SIGA, my 1 minute chart's still not even loading on that one. So let's just go back over to something that we've been short here. Apple, okay, there we go. Apple right now at day's low, man, 137. These were some pickup zones for me to go long with Apple, but obviously we're not going to be doing that as the NASDAQ right now flirting with zeros. And again, like, darn it, man. Like, that's exactly what we thought was going to happen today. And then now today I have a red day when I'm only thinking short the market. But okay, so there it's coming back in. I'm just going to hold this Apple as we're now breaking back down below some of these levels that we talked about before. I mean, I can look at a 20-minute. I think we're even below. I was going to say we're not below yet, but we're getting close to below yesterday. 136.60 right there as it's continuing to go to the downside right now. So yeah, market blowing down now, not blowing up for here. Good outs on Lucid for sure for me there, as we don't have much of this left. That's the 1 day. That's the one. I need the 1 minute here, wherever that is. Did I get closed? Yeah, there it is. Lucid was pretty good there. 18.90. Now you're fading out on Lucid, coming back in. I should have a stop getting out at 50 for this name, but wow, man, don't hold anything right now today if you're long. It seems like it wants to give it up. Wait for the market to tell you that you can go long. Right now, you cannot. We're still below the 50 period, and we're well off of that 12,000 take that we thought was going to happen. So watch out. I mean, we're not well off of it, but you're still 120 points lower. So watch out. Looks like Lucid wants to break this 50. One last shot if you want right now, but it's going to break. So watch out for Lucid to break through. 1850, 350, 250 in the money on Apple short though.
Yeah, the reason why I'm not reloading a Lucid and I didn't try that 680 on Tesla over and over again, I just got out of my Lucid. Look, volatility is now starting to spike back to the upside. So it's finally following through with the moves. I'm going to do this for you because Siga did this. Wick top through 1050 up to 11. Why take a shot shorting Siga that everybody is in love with to the long side when GOVX, the sympathy play, just gave you a failure at $1, which is psychological. So I'm going over to this one. It's usually a little bit easier to play in that direction. I did add to when that wick top happened on Siga, that's when I added to it and was able to get some at 1. So 99 now my price. But Tesla.
I want to throw up about Tesla. That's disgusting.
Yeah, I'm pretty much with you there, man.
I said, I
should be short this stock still.
Not just short, like I said, I want the hell out of this stock, period, in my own long-term account. Said that at 720. Now I'm just sitting here costing myself.
It's going to go to that 666.
I'm not going to tell you how much, but we're talking.
It's going to go to 666.
Thousands here. I mean, this stock was up. Like I've just lost 7% on my Tesla holding for, and I could have got out, but whatever. That's what that is. So that's making me sick a little bit right there. But we'll move on from that. Hopefully it bounces and then we can be happy again. But yeah, that Tesla short, I mean, we ping that. That's the crazy thing. And that's another reason why I'm a little upset, because we called these moves and I sit here on a red day for me. So that's not good. Okay, let's just find some more to short. I want to get short into AMD. So I've looked at some levels here. It needs to get back. Obviously, this 96 will be fantastic. But anywhere, even just halfway back, 95.20, something like that right there for AMD on a little bit of a bounce back up. Upside would be great. I still think that NEO has pressure to go long because of everything that's around it, but honestly, we're testing lows again on NEO, and I'm not getting like any feels for the long. I would go long here, but we've tested this theory before, right? We've taken longs off of some of these bottoms today, and they just haven't worked. Like 250 in the money for Apple's pretty good. I'm happy with that, I mean, we could go long right now on NEO and just see what happens, but right now you're down to that 670 area, and the futures don't look great. We talked about it flirting with negative. Yeah, it's now well into the negatives, now down 1/4 of a point for the NASDAQ. So at least we had the direction right in the market, and on some names we just didn't execute. Well, we executed fine. It's just some of the names that we took went a little further than we thought, including NEO and Lucid.
Oh my goodness, I'm now looking at Coinbase because that's the one I missed at 70. It's at $65. Like, give me a you-know-what break. And Upstart, that's another at that 50 level. It's at 45. I'm not going to... It's going to be everything pretty much at this point. Oh, yeah, Siga just made another leg down, which means if I can still get an attractive price, I'm going to take more shares of that GovX because that's the way to go. Remember NVIDIA? Run to the hills and take the scalp trade. It's right back at 65. So right back on the low of the day as we're breaking back out. And we're about to get to 16 on UVXY. So if there's a place where, I should show you guys, if there's a place where it might actually stall out, if you remember late in the session, that's where the short briefly bounced before right at the end of the day after the imbalances came out. We broke that 16, but the bottom of the channel, this held pretty well. So on the way back up, I think the top of the channel could also potentially hold. So we'll be watching UVXY. These bottoms right now break or sort of hold, then 666 on Tesla, 165 on NVIDIA, the two places I'd be looking for a scalp long. Brendan.
All right, a few minutes to go here, guys. Not much in the way of earnings. Typical for a Friday. Monday, we get XPeng pre-market, so XPEV. Apparently, we'll talk about NIO at some point next week as well. Remember, though, lots of retail still to come, including this one. COST next week, the May 26th is when they're going to report. I mean, we were talking 420 this morning in the pre-market. How about 410 maybe in play for Costco today? Macy's and Best Buy to come as well. Lots of retail still.
That's a gauntlet we have to get through. And it's because, like, if you look at what happened to, like, Target and Walmart, like, if the same thing happens to Costco, I don't think it's going to bode very well for the market. I think that's not really saying much. I think that's kind of low-hanging fruit. I just mentioned the 165 in NVIDIA. The second it got there was size on the bid. And I looked at it, I'm like, do I want that? Oh, and it's gone. And it just took out that low. So, yeah, they hunted that. Like, the second there was liquidity on the bid, it was like, we even think about bouncing? Nope, we're just going to take it right out. And we are at that 16 on UVXY.
Yeah, look, everything just continues to get clapped out here. I mean, the lows coming in. The market's getting lower and lower and lower, man. What do you want me to do, Fahad? Yeah, it doesn't look like we're ready yet there, buddy. Okay, so you just tell me what you want me to do, and we will do that. Okay, so we're watching Facebook. Like that bottom there went to that 194.50. Like that was a level that I was actually looking for. So let's go long off that 194.50 here into Facebook. So that's going to be one play that we like, 194.50. It's coming, and it might be going right now real fast. The market's still ticking lower. One last shot here on something that we think has a chance to be strong. That's going to be Facebook. So, you know, if that doesn't hold this 194.50, then we're gone. Let's go over right now to Mr. Wickens at the big screen.
We might not all fit here. There we go. Hey, look, looks good. Hi, guys. If you haven't heard yet, it's lovely Miss V's last day today. So the guys from the midday show, and I mean, yeah, it's known now. These guys, some of these guys are going to be on the midday show more regular now, starting next week. So take it away. None of these guys have a mic, so they brought something special for Miss V on her last day. So
Brad, Brandon. Well, miss you too so much. You will do great, guys. Already, I know viewers know you, and you will do great.
There we go. It's Miss V's last day. It's Miss V Day around here. We will miss her, obviously, guys. And from the midday show, they got her something special. Make sure you come back this afternoon, because we're going to make the entire afternoon about Miss V as well.
Yeah, buddy. That looks like the goon squad up there.
I know.
Guys. You know, it's like I didn't know I got the hitmen coming through here today. But yeah, very nice. Very well done there, guys. Yeah, thank you for that. That's a very kind gesture for the boys from the midday show. So yeah, obviously, I mean, we can continue to talk about this with Miss V, but you know, for the majority of the Trader TV family here, we're going to be doing something at the closing show. So get ready to rock and roll for that one. As the market just continues to tick lower and lower right now. Apparently, let's go over to Miss V right now. What's up, Miss V?
Well, again, thank you so much, Luca, Ian, Brandon, and my partner in crime, Prad. Guys, you will do amazing, I'm sure, and no doubts in you. And guys, again, thank you so much for all the love on the chat. I see all the messages. Love you so much. And join us for my last Markets Movers, unfortunately for me. And happy National Millionaire Day. I wish you all to become millionaires as soon as possible.
Wow, that's a pretty cute graphic there. I don't know if you can see through those that dollar
look at the
bill there, but
look at the calculator.
Yeah. Oh no, it's similar. It's a similar
apparently, if you have an old school gangster calculator, that's the way to go to be a millionaire. That's like people don't have those anymore.
No, they do not. They do not.
And you know where that's from? So I think that's the one that we had on our desk when we owned our floor.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's the one I used to use.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
The old Casio out there. But yeah, enough about that. The market right now continuing to bleed, certainly. So there was a lot to be covered. And you've got the absolute best of the best that are going to follow right now. Of course, it is Miss V Day. And we're going to send you right on over to Trader Prad, Miss V. Market Movers.
Let's do this.
Go get them.
Yo. Wow, it's already here. It's 11 o'clock. I was not ready for that. It is time for Market Movers and with Trader Pat and the beautiful Miss V.
Thank you, Brad. Both wearing green, so hopefully both of us having a green day. And guys, thank you so much for joining us today. I wish you